Chapter 551. Xing Buhua's voice was heard, full of concern. Baiye hugged his waist, buried her face in his body, and sobbed. Xing Buhua's eyes were full of pity, and a complicated look flashed through them. He put his hand on Baiye's shoulder, trying to give her warmth. Xiaoye, if there's anything you're unhappy about, you can tell me. I'll always be by your side and protect you, even if... Xing Buhua paused and didn't continue. But Baiye was buried in his body, and didn't see the abnormality in his eyes. She sobbed and said, "We must protect Lu Shuang, okay? I can't let her be in danger again." Xing Buhua sat down next to her and held her in his arms. "Whatever you say. Don't be sad, you're pregnant. In fact, you should know that it's useless to be sad, and it's useless to be sad. It's good for your body to vent your emotions, but it's harmful to your body if you're too emotional. Okay." Baiye took a few deep breaths and looked at him. Her eyes were red, and tears were still hanging on her eyelids. He wiped them away with his thumb, and smiled gently. "I've got the results of the test," Baiye said. "Are you relieved now?" Xing Buhua said with a smile. Baiye looked into his eyes, took another deep breath, and calmed herself down. Seeing her serious look, Xing Buhua couldn't help but feel nervous. "I know that Lu Shuang came back to take revenge. She suspects that the person who killed her mother was someone close to Shiniyan. The person who tried to assassinate her was Shiniyan's man, who has been brought to justice by Shiniyan. But there should be others, and they should be from the leadership. Lu Shuang is too straightforward. She shows everything on her face, and says what she thinks. She doesn't know how to pretend, and she's just. Maybe it's because she's been well protected since she was a child, she's not scheming. She does things impulsively, and she doesn't think about the consequences. How is she going to fight against those cunning old foxes?" Baiye said worriedly. Xing Buhua heaved a sigh of relief. So this was what she was talking about. "I will arrange for my men to enter the President Palace as guards to protect her," Xing Buhua said. "It's best if she has someone by her side to guide her. Once she goes down the wrong path, she won't be able to turn back." Baiye was worried. "I have a suitable candidate in mind. I will try my best to arrange for him to go to the presidential palace. However, the presidential palace is not easy to get close to. Shiniyan is more cautious than Xing Dongqing, and he can keep his composure." Baiye nodded. "Thank you." Xing Buhua rubbed her head. "There's no need for thanks between us. It's my pet phrase. Even my husband has to say thank you," explained Baiye. He laughed and looked at the 5 boxes of papers on the floor. "These are all for you to mark. There's too much, and you're pregnant. Tell me, how should the results be calculated, and I'll sort them out for you. You just went to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and you're already busy enough. Anyway, I have nothing to do these days. I'll mark these papers slowly. There will be a time when they're done. I'm already here. Am I supposed to watch you work while I sleep?" Xing Buhua said gently. "Well, that's fine. I'll tell you how to grade them. This is based on the overall score of the 20 questions. Choice A is 5 points, Choice B is 4 points, Choice C is 3 points, Choice D is 2 points, and the rest is 1 point. There are a total of 100 points. Below 60 is the first level, 60 to 80 is the first level, and 80 to 90 is the second level. Between 90 and 90 is the first level," explained Baiye, pointing at the 4th level in front of her. "Okay. Let's work together." Xing Buhua moved a chair and sat opposite her. Baiye glanced at him, and he was very focused on the papers. He and her Gu Lingqing had the same eyebrows, the same deep-set eyes, the same fine nose, the same lips, and the same good-looking face. At least, she still had Gu Lingqing. And Lu Shuang, Baiya's eyes dimmed, and her heart ached. She knew it was useless to be sad, but she could not control her heart. She lowered her head and focused on marking the papers. Knock, knock, knock. There was a knock on the door. Xing Buhua was alert. He put the papers away and hid them. Baiya went to open the door. Lin Shulan stood outside the door and reported to Baiya happily, "Madam, you did it. Now Xing Dongxing has taken the initiative to resign, and now he's saying that he's sorry to the public." Baiya twitched the corner of her mouth, and said knowingly, "He wants to clear his name." "Ah. Clear his name. Then what should we do?" Lin Shulan asked. "Let him clear his name. My goal was to make him resign. Tomorrow, there will be a good show. Shulan, I'm having hot pot at the embassy in Seattle tonight. Help me prepare." Baiya suddenly changed the topic. Lin Shulan paused, and then smiled. "I'll prepare. We should celebrate." Baiya did not say it out loud. She believed that Lin Shulan already knew. She closed the door and locked it. She picked up the phone on the desk and made a call. "Tomorrow is the weekend. The photos I gave you will be sent out at 10 a.m. tomorrow. I want to be the headline of all the websites and apps at 12 a.m. I want to be the headline of all the websites and apps. Is that okay with you?" "No problem. Also, everyone has been working hard recently. It's going to be the new year soon, and I can see that many of you are not local. Give everyone a 28-day holiday, but arrange for people to be on duty. Also, how's the new website going?" Baiya asked. "The new website has taken shape, but it still needs to be tested and typeset. It should be ready before the new year. As for the reporters, there are not many people who quit at the end of the year. They are all preparing to get their year-end bonuses first. After the new year, there should be many reporters jumping ship. I've contacted a few headhunters," Du Xinbo reported. "Thank you for your hard work. Don't miss out on any of the bonuses. Let me know how much you need," Baiya said generously. "Okay. Thank you, boss. Bye. I'll get to work first." "Okay." Baiya hung up the phone. Xing Buhua was already standing in front of her, looking at her deeply. He had never seen a woman who exuded such charm even when she was working. She looked gentle and beautiful. When she smiled, she was as gentle as water. She was unwavering in love, but she was also very brave and clever. She did things with ease. She could not be said to be strong, but she was definitely the most tenacious. That was why he could be sure that she was the one he wanted with just one look. In fact, she had appeared in his dreams a long time ago. "What's wrong? Is there something on my face?" Baiya covered her face suspiciously. Xing Buhua held her face and kissed her forehead. "I really want to look at you like this." Baiya burst out laughing. "Don't eat, don't sleep. What if you get tired of looking at me?" "I won't get tired of looking at you." He looked at her with infatuation. Chapter 552. Xing Buhua stared at her. "Mom went to Am country because our goods were replaced by someone else. I'm worried that someone is deliberately targeting goods, so I asked Mom to give up some foreign industries that she's not confident in and focus on charity," Baiya said. "Your worry is not unnecessary. Besides, my mom is old and you're pregnant. Too much work will only be a burden. We don't care about money. Just do what you want. I'll support whatever decision you make," Xing Buhua said softly. "Charity is also to lay the foundation for you to be the president, but..." Baiya was a little worried and paused. "But what?" Xing Buhua asked. "I'm afraid that we'll become the next Shenao. For the sake of complicated interests, we'll sacrifice our personality, conscience, and life." Gu Lingqing, if you take revenge, in fact, what's the point of being the president? With so many people staring at you and so many annoying things, no matter how powerful you are, when you die, can you not be lonely? Can you not feel lonely? Baiya asked. Xing Buhua pursed his lips and said nothing. Life is only a few decades, 120 years at most. Our family is together, and we're happy every day. We travel around the world, see the scenery of the world, eat the food of the world, give birth to many, many children, give birth to many more children. When we die, all we can remember is happiness and warmth in our hearts. I'm happy, and my heart is warm. Isn't that good? Baiya said with red eyes. Xing Buhua raised the corner of his mouth. In the past, he had his ambitions and aspirations. A soldier who didn't want to be a general was not a good soldier, and a politician who didn't want to be the president was not a good politician either. But she was right. So what if he became the president? He had made many enemies and was watched by others. Once he fell, everyone would give him a push when he was down. Even if he died, just like Shin Ao, many people were sad. Most of them were thinking about their own interests. It would be better to be with her every day and live a happy life without worries. All they had to do was raise their child. Okay, I promise you. It's just for revenge. After I've avenged my parents, I'll take you to travel around the world. We'll have as many children as a football team. In the future, we'll help them choose husbands and wives. Xing Buhua agreed. Baiya smiled. We still have to do charity. After all, we are shouldering too many killings. Xing Buhua patted her head. She was also very kind and not greedy. Although he appeared late, his luck was still good, wasn't it? Okay, I'll listen to you. Xing Buhua said dotingly. Now, let's mark the papers together. Xing Buhua nodded. Do you think it's better to score high or low? You won't be able to see any problems from just one test paper, because many people have very high EQ and IQ. Those who are able to infiltrate the military base should also have studied psychology, and they can even answer better than others. So, I designed 10 sets of psychological test papers for cold sale, and then combined all the tests. Then, I'll analyze the people who might have problems and conduct a simulation test, Baiya said. Simulation test. This is a popular test overseas. It's not based on theory but on behavior. A lot of behavior is based on the subconscious. This simulation will stimulate the subconscious so that people can't think and react immediately. Or, it will require a long time to think. It's a test of humanity, character, and motivation. Simply put, it's like a drill. But the people being tested won't know that it's a drill, Baiya explained. I understand. Talk to Ling Shua when the time comes. I hope we can find the spy in your military. But there's a margin for error. Even if we make a mistake, we have to find Xing Dongqing's men. Otherwise, they'll be a scourge. Baiya felt guilty. She realized the sorrow of being a leader. Sometimes, for the sake of the whole, she had to sacrifice some people's personal interests. She felt sorry for those who had been sacrificed, but she had to do it. She was worried that after being a leader for so long, after killing so many people, her heart would become cold and cruel. You've worked hard, Xing Buhua said, looking at her. She lowered her head and looked at the papers seriously. She was shrouded in sadness. She was so beautiful. He really liked her. He liked her so much that he would rather lie to her than let go. He also hoped that someone could protect her and continue to love her, didn't he? But, Xing Buhua didn't want to think about it anymore. He lowered his head and corrected the papers with her. Asterisk in the car. Lu Shuang leaned on the window sill and looked at the scenery outside. She had been away for half a year. Many shops had disappeared, and many more had appeared. She remembered when she was young, she wanted to become a house. She thought that a house could stay in its original place forever. Only when she grew up did she realize that the life of a house was at most 70 years. It was even more fragile than a human's life. Children were really naive and had the least worries. She passed by 2 children playing with each other. She really wanted to return to that innocent age. Shen Yi's phone rang, interrupting Lu Shuang's wild thoughts. She looked at Shen Yi. His brows were slightly furrowed, and there was a layer of harshness and firmness on his face. "What's wrong?" Shen Yi asked. "Shintong, Jiang Yi bought a ticket to a land. He'll arrive in a land tomorrow." "Him? Why would he come to a land?" Shen Yi was surprised. "I don't know. He disappeared for a year and suddenly reappeared. He came to a land as soon as he appeared. I also felt that it was suspicious, so I reported it to you immediately." "I got it. Contact Invisible and follow him. He's Jiang Xingyu's second in command. He won't come to a land for no reason," Shen Yi ordered. "Yes, I know what to do." Shen Yi hung up. "Hey, Shen Yi, can you avoid me when you answer the phone or make a call in the future? You know that I don't have any good points, except that I have a big mouth. If you tell me any secrets, I won't be able to keep them. If you don't guard against me, don't blame me for not keeping secrets in the future." Lu Shuang reminded her. Shen Yi smiled happily. He liked her straightforwardness. So, after they separated in high school, he had never forgotten her. That day, when he knew that her father was going to introduce a boyfriend to her, he came immediately. He knew that although he had brought a lot of people with him that day and pretended to be arrogant, he was actually doing it for her. "I don't know what's so funny." "You're retarded," Lu Shuang said disdainfully and rolled his eyes at him. Shen Yi held her in his arms and kissed her. There it was again. It was too sticky. He kissed her and... Chapter 553. Lu Shuang pushed his chest and changed the topic. "Well, Shen Yi, when are you going to have the parade? Have you arranged it?" "I have told them. They will report to me when they are ready. There will be a foreign ambassador coming tomorrow night and I need to receive him." Shen Yi said. "Will you show them the national treasure of our country?" Lu Shuang thought of something and smiled. "Yes, what are you thinking about?" "Look at you." Shen Yi was curious. Every time she smiled like this, it was when she started to be mischievous. Previously, there was an American president who went to Japan. The Japanese also showed him their national treasure, which was sumo wrestling. In the end, after watching for 4 hours, the 2 wrestlers were still hugging each other. The entire process was very boring and there was not a single bit of excitement. If you have a grudge against the foreign ambassador, then this is it. If you have a grudge against that foreign ambassador, you can arrange it. Lu Shuang grinned. Shen Yi also smiled. "You are so creative. You can arrange the foreign ambassadors when they come in the future." "Okay. I can give you the job of the director of the cultural center in a land. The director has to work. Give me the job of the deputy director. I just get paid and don't have to work. Don't I give you enough money? I checked your card last time. There is 6.5 billion in it. You are not short of money," Shen Yi said. Lu Shuang blinked his eyes. He spat. She was the legal representative of Shen Yi's company in Country X. The money was indeed transferred to her account. However, she did not know the number of the card or the password. She wanted to check it but did not have the authority. She did not have the authority for her own card. But thinking that it was not her own money, she did not care about it. How could he bring it up? "Then, can you give me the card?" Lu Shuang asked without any expectations. I will give it all to you when we get married. Shen Yan promised. Lu Shuang sneered. He was flattering her again. Would he get a divorce? It was impossible. She understood very well. Men were all the same. Everyone wanted to be like Wei Xiaobao. The red flag at home did not fall, and the colorful flags fluttered outside. Furthermore, they were all capable and could help him. What was the difference between this and selling themselves? Besides, was she the kind of person who would marry for money? She rolled her eyes at him and ignored him. She logged into her QQ and saw that Angelica had left quite a few messages for her. What's wrong? Are you ignoring me again? What should I do with you? I'm taking off. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Alright, seeing that he had taken good care of her in Country D, she would do her best as a host. Shen Yan, I have something to do tomorrow, Lu Shuang said. What's the matter? Shen Yan looked at her. I don't have to report everything to you. Lu Shuang was displeased. Shen Yan's eyes darkened. In the past, he still had Xiao Bao, so he could keep her. Therefore, he was at ease to let her go out to play. He knew that she couldn't fly far. Now that Xiao Bao had hidden her, he was really afraid that she would casually fly away. You don't want revenge anymore? Shen Yan asked. You haven't arranged the parade yet, have you? Lu Shuang asked back. So, you think that your time is free, right? Shen Yan's voice turned cold. Am I not free? Lu Shuang was nervous and scared. It's not that you don't have freedom, but it will be very dangerous. Those who want to kill you and those who killed your mother are all watching you. Whenever you are alone, it may be the best time for them to take action. So, it's better for you to stay by my side, understand? Shen Yan said righteously. Said. I came back last night. Nothing happened to me, right? That's because no one knew that you were back. I only found out today. But now, many people know that you are back. Don't run around. Where do you want to go? I will accompany you tomorrow. Shen Yan said in a gentle tone. Lu Shuang stared at Shen Yan, thinking about his words, and looked a little uncomfortable. Shen Yan knew that he had scared her, so he put his arm around her shoulder. Alright, when we find the people who want to kill you, you will be safe. Lu Shuang pushed him away. Piggy. Shen Yan called her helplessly. Lu Shuang looked out of the window. Who did she offend? It seemed that since she met him 5 years ago, nothing good had happened to her. Seeing that she was ignoring him, Shen Yan took the initiative to approach her and held her shoulder. She looked at his fair and slender hand, which was still wearing the same diamond ring as Hua's zigzags on the ring finger. She had a strange feeling of discomfort in her heart. Forget it, for the sake of revenge, she would bear with it. I have a friend coming tomorrow, and I want to see him. Can you send someone to protect me? Lu Shuang said softly. Is it a man or a woman? Shen Yan asked. A man. Lu Shuang said frankly. Shen Yan's heart skipped a beat, and his face darkened. I am free tomorrow, and I will accompany you to see him. It is not appropriate. You are the president, and I am at most your assistant. You are a married man, and you are the president of a married man. What will the media say if they are photographed accompanying a young assistant to meet a friend? I remember that you have been doing a lot of things recently. Do you not want to be the president anymore? Lu Shuang said bluntly. Shen Yan knocked her head. Lu Shuang was in pain, so he pushed her hard. Shen Yan was annoyed when she pushed him away. He frowned and said, Isn't it good for me to accompany you? Or do you think that I will be a hindrance to you? Why don't you have the self-awareness of being a husband every time? Is it appropriate for you to do this? Also, he is the person I like. Of course I am afraid that you will be a hindrance to us. Lu Shuang provoked and raised his voice. Sheniyan was so angry that she wanted to eat her up. She held her chin and said, I have explained to you that there is only an agreement between Hua Zixing and me, and we are not husband and wife. Do you really want to anger me to death? I don't even have the freedom to make friends. Lu Shuang was angry. That depends on what kind of friends you have. You don't even have the self-awareness of whose woman you are. How can I let you be a cuckold outside? Lu Shuang pushed his hand away. What cuckold? I think it is anyone's man who doesn't have the self-awareness. You and I can only be considered a casual relationship, not even a boyfriend and girlfriend. A casual relationship, right? It seems that you still don't understand it. Sheniyan said with reddened eyes. His whole body was enveloped in coldness. He twitched the corner of his mouth, which made one feel a little scared. Wait until you understand it clearly, then come and talk to me about the conditions. Who wanted to talk to him? Lu Shuang turned his face away and crossed his arms in front of his chest angrily. What would happen when a couple quarreled? A cold war, a breakup, and each living their own lives. At most, they would not contact each other. They could travel, read books, listen to music, play games, and meet up with friends to forget the hurt they had caused. Gradually, the hurt would fade, and they could start a new life. However, she had forgotten that Sheniyan was not an ordinary person. Lu Shuang only knew that this man was different from ordinary people after he was sent to the secret room. Chapter 554. Lu Shuang was infuriated, kicking the door in a frenzy. She was infuriated, baffled, and unable to accept it. Was Sheniyan crazy? Was he crazy? Why did he lock her up in a dark, enclosed space? What right did he have? What right did he have? She was trembling with anger. It had been the same in the past, forcing her to give birth to his child, forcing her to have sex with him, forcing her not to run away. It was still the same now. She had freedom, she respected freedom, she was her own, not anyone else's. Ah! Lu Shuang was about to explode. The entire corridor was filled with her cries. At midnight, Sheniyan finished work and called Colonel Ching. How is she? Did she say she wanted to see me? Colonel Ching had a troubled look on his face. No. Keep her locked up until she begs for mercy. Sheniyan was really angry and hung up. Hua Zixing came over with a glass of milk and said gently, It's time to rest. It's already midnight, your body is your own. Sheniyan replied indifferently. He and Hua Zixing treated each other like guests. To him, they were just temporary guests. Where's Xiao Shuang? You haven't asked her to come out yet. Hua Zixing looked around. She should be suppressed, or she's too arrogant. Sheniyan didn't hide his anger. That's enough. She's a little girl after all. It's inevitable to be willful, as long as it's not a big deal, Hua Zixing advised. A little girl. She'll be 30 after the new year. She's a few months older than me. Sheniyan was annoyed. Hua Zixing smiled. She's a girl after all. It's dark and cold in that secret room. She'll be afraid. Afraid? You're underestimating her. She's not afraid of anything in my eyes. She has to be suppressed, or she'll tear the sky apart. She has no self-awareness at all. Sheniyan thought about how she said she loved another man, and he lost his rationality. He was always calm and collected, but every time he met her, he couldn't calm down. She's just used to being free. She'll get better in the future. She hasn't eaten dinner yet. The moment you came here, you suppressed her. How sad must she be? Hua Zihua advised gently. I know what I'm doing. I've already asked someone to send her dinner. There's nothing I can do if she doesn't want to eat. I've also sent her a blanket. If she doesn't know how to judge the situation, she'll be the one to suffer in the future. She only knows how to argue with me every day. She doesn't know who's good and who's bad and who's good to her. Yen frowned. Hua Zixing was still smiling, like a spring breeze. She will understand in the future. Take it slow. Haste makes waste. I know what to do. It's too late. Go back and rest. Do you want me to persuade her? After all, it's easier for women to communicate with each other, Hua Zixing said gently. She must be tired from all that. Let's talk about it tomorrow, Sheniyan said in a low voice. All right. You should rest early after drinking the milk. Hua Zixing didn't force her. She turned around and went back to her room. Sheniyan glanced at the milk and sighed. He thought about how angry she would be. She would probably want to kill him. He couldn't help but feel sorry for her. He went to the secret room. Hua Zixing's room. Madam, I don't understand. Why are you still speaking up for that vixen? Gong Nanhua said angrily. Hua Zixing calmly took off her outer jacket. A willful woman can get a man's love for a while, but not for a lifetime. There will always be times when a man is tired and irritated. A woman who is intelligent, generous, and considerate is a good partner that a man will choose for a lifetime. Without comparison, how can the heart be cold? I understand. That woman will definitely be hated by the president soon. After all, he's only in his 20s. I wonder which one he really needs, Hua Zixing said confidently. Sheniyan arrived at the door of the secret room and looked at Colonel Qing. She's asleep. Colonel Qing nodded. Open it, Sheniyan ordered. Lu Shuang was so tired that he had fallen asleep. When he heard the sound, he opened his eyes alertly. He sat up on the bed and looked at the door. A dim light shone in. Sheniyan stood in the light with his hands behind his back. He was full of the majesty of a king. Have you thought it through? Lu Shuang jumped off the bed and said angrily, Sheniyan, I'm not your prisoner. I didn't do anything wrong. You can't do this to me. Didn't do anything wrong. You're my woman now. You told me that you're going to see another man, and the man you love. Do you think you didn't do anything wrong? Sheniyan frowned. Illness comes from the mouth, and disaster comes from the mouth. Don't talk nonsense. Haven't you learned it? Lu Shuang looked at him sharply. So, are you suppressing me, warning me, or using force to enslave me? I want you to understand who I am to you and whose woman you are. If you don't understand this, you'll stay here forever, Sheniyan said firmly. Lu Shuang's lips curled into a sarcastic smile as he hid in the darkness. This was Sheniyan. He was arrogant, wild, arrogant, conceited, and self-centered. He was a tyrant in name only. If he didn't want to hear it, he could use punishment to shut people up. She shouldn't have been so impulsive. She shouldn't have challenged his authority. He wasn't the man who loved her. He couldn't tolerate her willfulness, arrogance, impudence, and unreasonable behavior. The man who loved her had died in Country D. There was no one by her side to guide her. She wouldn't be able to live on if she just relied on her passion and impulsiveness. She didn't want to stay here forever. After she got her revenge, she could go back to Country D with peace of mind and pursue her freedom and her life. I was wrong. Lu Shuang said confidently. He clenched his fists so tightly that the veins on the back of his hands were popping out. Sheniyan paused. She didn't expect him to admit his mistake so quickly. She used to treat the wrong as the right and keep going. It seemed that Lu Shuang, who had been through a lot of changes, was growing up. What did you do wrong? Shen Yi's voice softened. I have a bad temper. I'm too arrogant and I talk nonsense. The person I'm going to meet tomorrow is not the person I love. I'm just saying it casually. It's just an uncle who used to take care of me. Lu Shuang said simply. More, the main point. Shen Yi stared at him. I'm your woman, okay? Lu Shuang said perfunctorily. Shen Yi frowned. Watch your tone. Tears welled up in Lu Shuang's eyes. He had to watch his tone. Being in the king's company was like living with a tiger. If his tone was not good, he would be killed. Chapter 555. She really wanted to go back to 5 years ago. At that time, her father was still the director of the hospital, and she was the most powerful person in the hospital. She wanted to stay with her parents, and she would not rent a house to live alone and pursue the so-called freedom. Shen Yi saw her lowering her head and sinking into sadness, and his heart also became sad. She must miss her parents. He walked towards her, knowing that he had gone too far by locking her in the little dark room today, but he was worried that Lu Shuang would easily walk away according to his unruly character. He held her hand, which was cold. He put her hand under his clothes and put it on his warm stomach. Lu Shuang wanted to pull her hand out, but he was afraid that he would be imprisoned here for the rest of his life. Anyway, his stomach was warm, and she felt very cold. It was not her who wanted to cover his stomach, but him who covered it for her. She looked up at him. The strength in Shen Yi's body dissipated. Under the dim light, his entire person became much gentler, like a jade tree under the cool breeze and bright moon. Lu Shuang calmed down. Shen Yi's beauty was very attractive, and it was indeed pleasing to the eye. Are you hungry? Shen Yi asked. Lu Shuang shook his head. You are still angry with me. Shen Yi looked at her helplessly. Angry? She was angry because no one had taught her. But when she thought that no one had taught her, she could not be as willful as before, because no one would care about her anymore. She needed to care about herself. I want to eat roast chicken, roast duck, roast fish, roast shrimp, roast beef, braised pork knuckle, and hot pot, Lu Shuang said with red eyes. It's not good for your health to eat such greasy food at night. Don't worry about getting fat. Shen Yi took her hand and walked away. Then what are you going to give me? Lu Shuang asked weakly. Okay, I'll satisfy you, but we need to disguise ourselves, or we will be recognized by others, Shen Yi said, smiling at her. What was so funny? She didn't feel happy at all. Don't try to seduce me. You can beat me at my own game. I don't mind, Shen Yi said jokingly. Lu Shuang pursed his lips. He wanted to laugh, but then he remembered that they were still arguing, so he held it in. I don't want to reject anyone. Shen Yi tightened his grip. Do you think I'm dead? Didn't you ask me to beat you at your own game? Lu Shuang asked back. Looking at Shen Yi's defeated look, he felt a little better, and the corners of his mouth curled up slightly. He also knew that she was just saying it to satisfy her cravings. If she was lustful, he would not let her have the guts to do so. Who would dare to provoke her? Had they forgotten about his ability to pluck peach blossoms? However, seeing that she was in a good mood, he let her go and didn't try to argue anymore. Midnight he took her to a buffet for supper with Colonel Cheng by his side. Colonel Cheng was worried to death. No one recognized him, but Shen Yi was different. He appeared on TV every other day and was the youngest and most handsome president of a land. His appearance alone had won him a large number of fans. Shen Yi only changed into an ordinary down jacket, a cap, and a mask. So did Lu Shuang. They were wearing a couple's down jacket, a couple's cap, and a couple's mask. Excuse me, can I eat without taking off my mask? Colonel Cheng's heart was broken. They sat at the last table. Shen Yin and Lu Shuang sat at the last table, facing inside. Colonel Cheng was in charge of getting their food. Shen Yin held her hand tightly while eating. "Excuse me, how can I eat when you hold my hand?" Lu Shuang turned to look at Shen Yin and said. Shen Yin picked up a piece of beef with the other hand and brought it to her mouth, coaxing, "Aw." Lu Shuang opened his mouth and ate it. He stared at her with displeasure in his eyes. He was using his right hand and holding her right hand with his left. She was not left-handed, so how could she pick up food? The more she thought about it, the angrier she became. But she was also a little scared. When Shen Yin went crazy, even a lunatic would be scared. "Let's change seats," Lu Shuang said. "Ha!" Shen Yin chuckled. What was he laughing at? Even if he was good-looking, she still wanted to beat him up. Fortunately, he agreed and swapped places with her. A sly look flashed in her eyes and her left hand held his right hand. "Darling, I will always hold your hand, okay?" Shen Yin looked at her bright and beautiful face. It was exactly the same as before. She looked cheerful but full of evil ideas. He liked her little tricks. He thought that she was smart, but in the end, it was all written on her face. At first, she was angry at him and said that she loved another man. Although he locked her up, he was still in a bad mood and almost did not eat dinner. But now, his appetite was much better. He did not let her retreat. His right hand held her left hand tightly, as if he was holding happiness in his hands. He grabbed the fork and forked something to eat. Lu Shuang looked at him. Why wasn't this guy sullen? She picked up the beef balls from the hot pot. The beef balls were very slippery and difficult to pick up. She liked to see him make a fool of himself. "This is delicious. Do you want to eat it?" Lu Shuang asked with a smile. "Yeah." Shen Yin leaned toward her and opened his mouth. Lu Shuang quickly stuffed it into his mouth and said with a muffled voice, "You fork it yourself." He looked at her bulging cheeks. He had never paid attention to the way she ate. She was different from the ladies from the prestigious families that he had interacted with. He wanted to kiss her so badly. His Adam's apple bobbed up and down. He wanted to eat her up and keep her warm in his body every day. He forked a beef ball and put it into his mouth. That posture was noble and elegant. He was unhappy that there was nothing wrong with him. Thinking about it, in the past, she was still his classmate, and everyone was equal. She was even his class representative. Why was she always a little higher than him? Now, she clearly felt what was a commoner and what was a prince. "Shen Yin, when you were young, did you ever think that you would be the president?" Lu Shuang asked curiously. "When I was young, I knew that I would be the president in the future. I had this goal since I was in primary school," Shen Yin said seriously. "Then why aren't you handing in your homework?" Lu Shuang said in disdain. Shen Yin laughed. "Don't I have you?" Hee hee. Lu Shuang rolled his eyes. So he knew how hard it was for her to do 2 sets of homework every day. "Well, President, put on a mask." Colonel Cheng saw a man walking over and said to Shen Yin. Shen Yin put on the mask defensively and turned her face inside. "Excuse me, are you Lu Shuang?" the man asked. Lu Shuang looked at him and sized up the handsome man in front of him. He felt that he looked familiar, but he couldn't remember where he had seen him. However, he looked quite handsome. He was wearing a white high-collared sweater. His skin was snow-white, and his short hair was clean. He even wore an earring. Could he be an idol? Chapter 556. "Hello." Lu Shuang greeted her. Shen Yin held Lu Shuang's hand tightly, as if she didn't like her sweet tone. "Ha ha ha, what a coincidence to meet you here. I've inquired about you before." I heard that you are a doctor in the military, the man said warmly. Lu Shuang was sure that he knew her. It was very novel. Although he didn't recognize her, she pretended to be familiar with him and looked behind her. Are you here to have hot pot with your friends? I'm working overtime. There are several colleagues in the company, so we are here to have supper together. The man explained. What do you do now? Lu Shuang was a talkative person, and he had something to talk about with everyone. Shiniyan felt that it was enough, so she held Lu Shuang's hand tightly again. I work in IT, and I have a good studio. She noticed that there was a strange man beside Lu Shuang, who was wearing a cap and a mask. It was quite strange that he was still wearing a cap and a mask in a hot pot restaurant. Is he your boyfriend? Lu Shuang saw the surprise in his eyes. She didn't want to be seen eating hot pot with the president. Many celebrities could have a lot of romantic stories when they ate hot pot. She didn't want to find something to do, so she explained, no, one of my patients has been in a bad mood recently. He has. Lu Shuang pointed at his brain. He has trypophobia, and he doesn't like to see people or be seen by others. Ha ha ha, I see. Well, is it convenient for you to give me your phone number? The man asked. Oh. Lu Shuang didn't think much about it. She was looking for her bag. Shiniyan looked at Lu Shuang with a gloomy face and said, it's not convenient for her. Lu Shuang remembered that she didn't bring her bag and her phone was in her bag, so it was not inconvenient for her. I'm sorry, I forgot to bring my phone. It's okay. The man handed over his business card. Contact me when you are free, and we can get together. Oh. Lu Shuang took his business card. Seeing the name, he remembered who he was. He was the one she had said she wanted to get into high school with when they were in junior high. He was the one she had feelings for in junior high. However, she didn't know why he fell sick and didn't even take the high school entrance exam with her. She didn't expect that he would become so handsome, start a company, and take the initiative to look for her. Her market has improved again. Before she could feel proud of herself, Shiniyan snatched the business card from her hands. With a dark face, he threw the business card into the bin and looked at her sharply. Although she wasn't smart, she still had good eyesight. This guy is angry again. It wasn't natural for him to be jealous. Men were always like that. Once they were in bed, they would think that it was his. She had never felt that she belonged to him. His wife was as beautiful as a fairy. Moreover, in her impression, Shiniyan was a playboy. Why didn't he reflect on himself? She pretended not to see his anger and continued to eat. Colonel Ching, let's go. Shiniyan said in a low voice and walked in front. Lu Shuang thought about it. Since he was full, he followed behind Shiniyan. Colonel Ching was at the bottom. When Lu Shuang went out, Shiniyan had already opened the car door and was standing beside it coldly. She got into the car. Colonel Ching heaved a sigh of relief. Finally, he was safe. To be on the safe side, he checked the surveillance cameras to make sure that no one was following them and that no one was taking pictures. His phone rang. It was from Shiniyan. Deal with it. Don't let there be any future trouble. Just tell them that she's married, Shiniyan ordered. Colonel Ching understood. He walked to the man and nodded with a smile. My wife said that she's sorry that she didn't treat you to her wedding. She'll treat you to a full moon party next time. The man, so she's married. That's right. How could she not be married? I got it. Tell her that I'll definitely go back. The man was free and easy. After all, he was not invested in it. Lu Shuang was full. He leaned against the chair and did not want to move. Tomorrow, should she meet Jiang Yi or not? He looked at Shiniyan. His face was dark and cold. He tightened his jaw and suppressed his anger. "Hey, Shen Yin," Lu Shuang called him. He looked at her unhappily. She felt that it was not good for him to be angry. "I don't even know that person." "I pretended to know him," Lu Shuang explained. "You gave him your phone number if you didn't know him." Shen Yin frowned. He found that since she ran away half a year ago, he loved her even more. He could not let the possibility of losing her exist. He was determined not to let it happen. "Am I stupid? I know I didn't bring my phone with me. I don't remember his phone number. I have to pretend to be friendly so that I won't be embarrassed, right? You don't have to be friendly to a man you don't know. It doesn't matter if he's embarrassed. We won't meet again anyway," Shen Yin said coldly. "Got it. I'll be careful next time. I won't give my phone number to any superstar in the future." "Okay," Lu Shuang promised. Shen Yin saw that she was obedient. She said earnestly, "You're going to be my wife in the future. I'm not restricting your right to make friends. But that man obviously wants to pursue you. You don't have to care about him. Do you understand?" Lu Shuang thought of Shen Yin's wife, Hua Zixing. That girl looked soft and weak, like a fairy. He felt that she was a little pitiful. "If you marry me, what will happen to your wife?" Lu Shuang was puzzled. "It's stated in our agreement that we will be married for 4 years. She will help me stabilize my position and I will help her stabilize her family's position. After 4 years, I will arrange for her to leave. She has a man she likes. She told me herself." Shen Yin explained. She felt guilty towards his wife. She felt ashamed of what she did. But after hearing what Shen Yin said, she felt much better. She did not feel that she was stealing someone's love. Who does she like? I think the person she likes must be very happy. Your wife is so beautiful that I want to turn gay. Shen Yin looked at her in disdain. Do you have a straight one? A crafty glint flashed across Lu Shuang's eyes as she waved at him. Shen Yin's face turned green and white. He leaned over and kissed her on the lips. Lu Shuang was shocked and pushed him away. He held her hand and asked, Who do you think is prettier? Me or Hua Zixing? Lu Shuang was speechless. This guy, don't tell me he's even jealous of women. She was just talking nonsense. Wasn't it just a joke? How could he take it seriously? You. A wise man submits to circumstances. She would definitely say him in front of him. Both husband and wife were beautiful in their own way. One was as gentle as water, while the other was seductive. One was beautiful enough to topple a country, while the other could turn all living things upside down. Chapter 557. Lu Shuang felt that he was an extroverted person. He was able to crack all kinds of jokes without feeling awkward or reserved. But Shen Yin was like this. Colonel Ching was still driving in the driver's seat. She was so thick-skinned, but now she was blushing. Her palms were burning hot, as if she was holding a cigarette butt. She wanted to pull her hand away, but he pressed it down. Shen Yin, Lu Shuang called out in a coquettish tone. Ha! It's not like you haven't done it before. Have you forgotten that you used to? Before he could finish, she was too embarrassed and annoyed, so she simply covered his mouth to stop him from continuing. Shen Yin liked it when she took the initiative to kiss him. He changed from being passive to taking the initiative. He pressed the back of her head, and his red tongue entered her mouth. He swallowed her breath, and all of it entered his body. He could not stop kissing her. Shen Yin did not hide his desire, and his breathing became heavier and heavier. Lu Shuang did not want to admit it, but this guy's kissing skills were too good. They had a lot of common memories. He was her first and only man, and she had been in a relationship with him for a long time. Although she had no choice but to be with him, and she also felt aggrieved, she still had to live on. She would just treat it as if she had been with a high-class celebrity for a long time. His looks and skills were considered rare treasures. Moreover, he would always consider her. In this aspect, they were quite compatible. She was already at the age of maturity, and she had experienced what she needed to experience. Didn't they say that one would be like a wolf at 30? Many of the reactions of the body followed the rules of nature. She was very hot from his kiss, and she moved back. Sheniyen, let's go back. Let's go back. Sheniyen did not let go of her, and he went even further. He unbuckled the buckle on her back. Sheniyen. Lu Shuang raised his voice. Your men are still watching. If you do not do the right thing, your subordinates will do the wrong thing. Sheniyen, Colonel Qing, he just couldn't help it. Besides, he didn't want to show his woman to others. He was sure that Colonel Qing couldn't see her. Got it. He released her. Lu Shuang fastened the buckle on his back. His face was strangely red, hidden in the darkness. He could ask Colonel Qing to get out of the car and continue. Besides, he thought. But seeing that she was a little angry, he still held back. The foreign ambassador will come tomorrow night. I have time tomorrow at noon. I can accompany you to meet your friend at noon. Shen Yen took the initiative to propose. It's just a meeting between commoners. We'll just have a casual meal and take him for a stroll. With your appearance, it feels like there's a huge commotion. With so many soldiers, my friend will be scared to death. So you want to go by yourself? Shen Yen asked, his eyebrows slightly furrowed. Lu Shuang didn't want to cause more trouble, so he took the initiative to hold his arm and said coquettishly, Shen Yen, you're the best, right? If you're photographed, it'll be hard for you to explain. I'm doing this for your own good, right? There's still a long way to go. There was still a long way to go. Why did she use this idiom again? Shen Yen looked at her and thought that she was a little weird. He knew that she had ulterior motives, which was why she was acting coquettishly and sucking up to him. But he liked it. When he heard her soft and numb tone, he also became charming. Call me hubby. Lu Shuang, this girl, she was asking for a mile after being given an inch. If she called him hubby, it would be too shameless. He had a wife at home. Kiss. Lu Shuang only said one word. Obviously, Shen Yen felt that it wouldn't work. Nowadays, people were calling for kisses everywhere on the internet, even people they didn't know. Darling. Lu Shuang added a few more words. Shen Yen still wasn't satisfied. Didn't kiss and darling mean the same thing? She was treating him as a stranger. Don't you know what to call me? Shen Yen reminded him. Lu Shuang pursed his lips. I'm just worried that I'll make you sound old, right? Really? His lips curled up. I think you don't want to go out tomorrow. Lu Shuang had no choice but to kiss him on the cheek. Well, I'm not used to it. After all, you have a wife. She's at most my business partner. I've made it very clear to you, Shen Yen explained. But it's legal. You know, I hate mistresses the most. I've already made an exception for you. It's not right for a dove to take over a magpie's nest. No, it's not right for a dove to take over a magpie's nest. Lu Shuang couldn't think of a more appropriate idiom. He paused for a moment but still couldn't remember. Shen Yen looked at him patiently. It's quite shameless for me to call you husband when your wife is still here. Lu Shuang said it straightforwardly. He didn't think of an idiom to express it. He understood what she meant. I got it. My men will protect you secretly tomorrow. Don't do anything out of line. Shen Yen agreed. Lu Shuang heaved a sigh of relief. Don't forget about the military parade. Okay, we should be able to set the time on Monday, Shen Yan replied. Lu Shuang retracted his hand, shifted his butt, and looked out of the window with his back facing her. Without her in his arms, he felt a little cold. He hugged her shoulders and leaned against him. Lu Shuang was too lazy to struggle. He closed his eyes and fell asleep. She knew that the car had stopped, but she was too lazy to wake up. Soon, they arrived at the President Palace. He got out of the car first. Lu Shuang opened his eyes. Do you want me to carry you? Shen Yan asked. She felt that it was not good to be too overboard. Showing off their affection in front of his wife would hurt her. Although it was just an agreement, it was not good. No need. She pushed open the door on the other side and came down. The wind blew. It was very cold. She ran in with her neck shrunk. When she returned to her room, she looked at the time. Damn, it was already 2 o'clock. She went into the bathroom to take a shower. Just as she was standing under the tap, Shen Yan pushed open the door and came in with his clothes. Doesn't your room have a bathroom too? Lu Shuang asked unhappily. Of course it's to wash with you. Shen Yan said matter-of-factly. He took off his clothes and hugged her slender waist. The feeling was really different from before. In the past, after she gave birth, she was a little chubby and soft like cotton. Now, he could feel her bones, but he still liked her. He liked her no matter what she looked like. Lu Shuang felt that he had come back to life. He pressed against her stomach. His eyes did not hide his desire and infatuation. The temperature in the bathroom rose instantly. Lu Shuang knew that he wanted to continue what he had not finished in the car. But she had already passed the impulsive stage. Now that the temperature had cooled down, she did not want it anymore. She took a step back. It's late. This night carried a hint of rejection. Chapter 558. Don't you want to work all day? Lu Shuang teased him. Shen Yan smiled. I want to work all day too. Firstly, my body can't do it. Secondly, I don't have a partner when you're not around. If you're around, I'm afraid you won't be able to take it. Lu Shuang paused. He understood what he meant. This guy was driving again. She grabbed the tap and splashed it on his face. Shen Yan hugged her and kissed her. Lu Shuang treated the water faucet as a weapon, charging at him. Shen Yan wasn't annoyed or stopped her. He held her breasts with both hands and sucked them into his mouth, just like a baby. Lu Shuang, Shen Yan, your brain must be filled with sex. She continued to kiss him. He was annoyed and snatched the tap away. Stop fooling around. She wanted to cry. She hadn't been fooling around. She had rejected him seriously. He didn't give her a chance to turn on the tap again. He carried her to the bed. She was much lighter than before. His heart ached a little. He had spent so much effort to take care of himself. But after going out for half a year, he came back as a bag of bones. Luckily, he was back. Lu Shuang pushed him. Water. I'm still wet. He parted her breasts and said meaningfully, yeah, I can see that. Lu Shuang, she grabbed the pillow and threw it at him. He hugged the pillow and placed it under her waist. He quickly took off his clothes and kissed her lips. His hand moved down her waist and found it easily. Lu Shuang thought of a story he had read before. There was a little girl who had never eaten a cake before. One day, she ate it. Although she was terrified before, after eating it, she realized that the taste of the cake was extremely delicious. When she was hungry, there was cake to eat. Hence, when she was hungry in the future, she would crave for cake. When she was hungry, she would crave the cake even though she knew it belonged to someone else. When someone gave her cake, she would eat it even though she knew she shouldn't eat it. Sometimes, human nature was like this. It took a lot of effort and determination to resist beautiful things, but it was very easy not to resist. She had always been a casual person. She felt that she might be Uncle Lou's IQ. It was easy for her to find a comfortable way to convince herself to live a carefree life. The cake made by Shen was exquisite, unique, and unparalleled. He had been eating it for 2 years. If he didn't eat it now, he would be too pretentious and pretentious. When the overwhelming number of cakes assaulted her, she was dazed. Her mind was in a whirl, and her thoughts were no longer clear. She opened her mouth and bit his shoulder. Shen looked at her in his arms. He liked her. She was by his side. He allowed her to bite him to the extreme. When she woke up, it was already 11:15. F***ck, what happened to meeting a friend? She was harassed by Shen until 4:00 in the morning. Only when he was comfortable could she sleep well. Shen was so unrestrained. In ancient times, she would also be unrestrained. If it became a habit, it was really, she was annoyed, distressed, and annoyed. She didn't brush her teeth or wash her face. She reflected for a while before picking up her phone to check the number Jiang Yi had sent her. She called him. Hello. Jiang Yi's voice came from the other end of the phone. It was a penetrating and mature voice. It was a voice that gave people a sense of security. He was the male god that she had taken a liking to and wanted to develop. Alright, there was probably no chance. She was already having sex with Shen. How annoying. However, even if there was no hope, they would still be friends. Moreover, the other party did not know about her evil thoughts. Thank God for giving her a brain full of hair. In addition to concealing her plain IQ, it also concealed her fantasies. I'm sorry. I just woke up, Lu Shuang said apologetically. Jiang Yi chuckled. I guessed it. You didn't reply to me yesterday. I went to play games yesterday and fell asleep after playing for a while. I'm sorry. Where are you now? Lu Shuang asked. He lifted the quilt, got up, and walked to the bathroom. International Hotel in City A. Are you coming out? Of course, I am indebted to you for taking care of me when I was in D country. Maybe in the future, I will continue to rely on your help in D country. We are good neighbors. Now that you have come to my country, I will definitely treat you well. By the way, have you found the girlfriend that you said ran away? Why is she in country A? I have never seen you with a girlfriend before. Hee, Lu Shuang said with a smile. There was a moment of silence on Jiang Yi's end. She guessed that he hadn't found his girlfriend and was gossiping. Send me your room number. I will be there in an hour. Lu Shuang hung up to avoid embarrassment. Sigh. She sighed, looked at herself in the mirror, and brushed her teeth. When she was in high school, she had a crush on a handsome boy with good grades in her class. Whenever that boy looked at her, she would have a lot of pink bubbles popping out of her head. Especially if they met on the road by chance, she felt that it was fate that was destined by the heavens. In the end, she didn't manage to wait for her fate. She was drowned in the endless examination papers. After that, the boy got into the best university. She thickened her skin and asked for his phone number and QQ. In the end, he didn't even need them anymore. He had long forgotten her in the long river of history. But it didn't matter to her. Anyway, she had forgotten his appearance. After she went to university, her career started to improve. Because she wasn't serious about love, she just fooled around. Before she had enough fun, God sent the devil, Shen. Now, she had passed the ignorant age of high school, which was full of fantasy and infinite possibilities. She was more mature and rational when it came to love. As she grew older, she became more and more cautious. Moreover, her past was not very upright, especially when she had been the woman behind Shaniyan's back for 2 years. She knew that Jiang Yi might be very suitable for her, so she didn't dare to act rashly. Chasing after someone, chasing after a celebrity, these kinds of things were done when one was young and invincible. Now, one was old. She brushed her eyes and washed her face. She didn't look too good. Women, after all, always wanted to be beautiful when they went out. She put on her exquisite makeup and chose a red dress with a pair of fluffy red short hair. She let her hair down and looked pretty good. She opened the door and realized that Shaniyan wasn't there. She ran outside in her high heels. "Why are you running?" Shaniyan opened the door of the study and looked at her with his arms crossed. Lu Shuang turned to look at him. "It's almost midnight. I won't make it. Of course I have to run." Shaniyan stared at her exquisite makeup. His eyes turned cold and his pupils contracted. His face was tense. "Lu Shuang, you're almost 30. Is it appropriate to dress like a little girl?" "There's no little girl here." Lu Shuang was speechless. Chapter 559. I won't make it in time. She was implying that she was not going to wash her face. So what if you can't make it in time? It's not like she's someone important. Your important person is standing right in front of you, Shaniyan said firmly. Lu Shuang did not move. She did not want to remove her makeup. Women were most afraid of removing makeup. "You're not going to wash it, right? Auntie and I, help her wash her face," Shaniyan ordered. Seeing that Auntie and I was walking towards her, Lu Shuang said helplessly, "I'll wash it, I'm done, right?" She went back into the washroom, applied some makeup remover and washed her face. The more she thought about it, the angrier she got. How could Shaniyan do this? She had always wanted to look good. Which girl didn't want to look good, especially as she grew older? She could just bring her makeup and put it on when she went out. Smart. She continued to wash her face with water. Feeling someone behind her, she wiped her face with a towel and looked at Shaniyan behind her. "Are you done?" "Clothes. With a down jacket from last night." "It's cold outside," Shaniyan said domineeringly. Lu Shuang resisted the urge to roll her eyes, picked up the down jacket and put it on. Shaniyan's gaze was fixed on her, judging her. "Looks like you didn't lock you up for long enough yesterday. Who doesn't dress up when they see their friends? You forced me to go out with no makeup on. I've already removed my makeup. What else do you want?" Shaniyan looked at her for a while, glanced at the door and said, "Go out." She walked past him. Shaniyan's car was already outside the door. He ordered his men to send her away. She was wearing high heels and was unhappy. She walked all the way to the door and got into his car. He sighed helplessly as he watched her go out. Why was he so worried? It was as if she would fly away at any moment. Nangong Yu stood at the window on the 3rd floor and watched for a while before reporting to Hua Zixing, "Women are most afraid of removing makeup. The president is really ruthless. He made her remove her makeup and go out. This woman is only so-so." Hua Zixing arranged the flowers calmly. "She was released by Shaniyan last night. Do you think that's all? She only woke up after 11 in the morning. The President Palace's soundproofing is not bad, but when they put away their clothes in the morning, they were all wet, very wet. This vixen is quite skilled in seducing men." Nangong Yu said angrily. Hua Zixing had already calmed down. Shaniyan asked her to remove her makeup because she wanted to meet a friend. Nangong Yu understood what he meant and asked in shock, "Are you saying that the president is jealous?" They look alike, don't they? Hua Xixing smiled at Nan Gongyu. Then what should we do? Nan Gongyu asked worriedly. She only returned to the country to avoid being exposed. Shen Yan hasn't seen her for a long time, so he naturally dotes on her. If you want to be friends with her, it's best to make her trust you. Hua Xixing picked up the vase and said with satisfaction, flowers have to be controlled and not be allowed to grow as it pleases. I understand. Hua Xixing put down the vase. There's a foreign envoy coming today. On Sunday, I'll arrange for the envoy's wife to come over for dinner. This envoy's wife is colorblind, and she's allergic to perfume. Lu Shuang used perfume, right? Yes, I know what to do. Nan Gongyu's eyes flashed with malice. It seems that you still don't understand. Don't cause trouble. Remind her not to use perfume. Tell her that the envoy's wife is colorblind, and to avoid sensitive topics, Hua Xixing said. Why? Nan Gongyu was puzzled. Isn't it a good opportunity to set her up and chase her out? Hua Xixing chuckled. When she laughed, she looked dignified. Can you set her up better than Shen Yan? Shen Yan doesn't say anything, but he can control everyone in the palm of his hand. There are many things that he won't say, but he'll do it. The more you set her up, the more Shen Yan's heart will ache for her. Take care of her. Nan Gongyu felt that Hua Xixing's words made sense. Then, what should we do to chase her out of here? Nan Gongyu lowered her head. I've been here for 2 years, and the president hasn't even touched my hand. Madam, you promised me that the Nangong family will help the Hua family. Yes. Haste makes waste. What I want is mental oppression. In the future, there will be no more Lu Shuang. After all, Shen Yan is a hot-blooded man. If he needs a woman, I'll make arrangements, Hua Xixing said confidently and smiled. Nangong, you believed that her intelligent madam would help her pave the way. The noisy Lu Shuang was a far cry from her elegant and intelligent madam. Lu Shuang, who was a far cry from her, sneezed 3 times in a row. *CK, who was talking about her. She rubbed her nose. They had arrived at the International Hotel. She alighted from the car and went to the washroom. When she reached the washroom, she took off her down jacket and looked like a brave woman again. She put on makeup in the washroom and looked much more pleasing to the eye. She placed the down jacket in the crook of her arm and went to the door of Jiang Ye's room. She pressed the doorbell. Jiang Ye opened the door and smiled. He called out in a familiar voice, "Little girl." Lu Shuang smiled back. He was only 35 years old this year, 6 years older than her. From the moment they met, he had been calling her little girl. She liked it when he called her little girl. Although it felt like they were a generation apart, it made her feel warm. He was tall and strong. He only wore a white shirt, which showed off his strong muscles. He had a cool and tangible Beckham hairstyle. He looked handsome and trendy. She felt that he should be the most handsome among the uncles. He was also the youngest among the uncles. Although he was not as handsome as the young male idols, he was manly. His facial features were handsome, and he had a sense of maturity and freedom. He was completely different from the coquettish and charming man Shen Yan. "I'm sorry, I'm a little late. Have you eaten?" Lu Shuang asked as he entered his room. "As long as you are willing to come, it's never too late. You said that you came to find me. I was so happy that I didn't go out. I was afraid that you would come when I went out," Jiang Yi explained. "I didn't have any either. What a coincidence. Let me take you to eat the authentic dishes of City A. I remember that you can't eat spicy food, right? Put on some thick clothes. It's quite cold outside," Lu Shuang said as he put on the down jacket in his hand. It was too inconvenient to carry it. Jiang Yi put on a suit, a windbreaker, and a scarf. Why did you suddenly leave? I came to find you to exercise, but you were not here. I dreamed of my parents. They wanted to come back, so I put them in the cemetery yesterday, Lu Shuang explained. Seeing that he was dressed, he opened the door. Chapter 560. Lu Shuang had always been careless. He didn't see the gift bag in Jiang Ye's hand and asked in surprise, haven't you been to a land before? But how can you speak the language of us so fluently? Oh, by the way, is your girlfriend from a land? My mother is from a land. Jiang Yi explained. What a coincidence. So is my mother. Ha ha ha. Jiang Yi was amused by her. What a coincidence. I also have 2 eyes and a nose. Ha ha ha, you're so funny. How long are you going to stay in a city? Lu Shuang asked casually and pressed the button of the elevator. I'll leave after I get my girlfriend, Jiang Yi said in a deep voice. With your appearance, ability, and character, you will definitely be able to get your girlfriend. Don't worry. I'm here to see you. I won't delay you, will I? Lu Shuang said apologetically. Her cell phone rang. There were only 3 people who knew her number. She saw it was Shen Yin. She thought for a moment and answered. I'm already here. Just now, your subordinates should have told you, right? Do you know who Jiang Yi is? Shen Yin asked angrily. She could feel through the phone that his anger was about to burn her here. She was confused and asked, what's wrong? I've arranged a car for you downstairs. Find a reason to come back. Shen Yin ordered him directly. I don't think that's a good idea. I just met my friend. Lu Shuang refused. Don't force me. Shen Yin was very domineering. Lu Shuang pursed his lips and didn't say anything. Shen Yin hung up the phone. What's wrong? Jiang Yi asked. Lu Shuang didn't know what was wrong with Shen Yin. He had a bad feeling in his heart. I'm sorry. I have something urgent to do. I have to leave now. I can't accompany you for dinner and shopping. I'll contact you later. What happened? Is there anything I can do for you? Jiang Yi asked. Lu Shuang shook his head and shrugged. Ding! The elevator chimed. Lu Shuang turned around and was about to enter the elevator. Jiang Yi held her arm and said seriously, Girl, I'm afraid that I'll miss you if I don't come. I'm also afraid that I'll lose you if I confess my love. Can you tell me if my hope is above or below 10%? Jiang Yi asked, his eyes shining. She. Lu Shuang paused for a moment and stood rooted to the ground. For a moment, he could not come to his senses. Did he mean to confess to her? He was right. The girlfriend who ran away was her. When did I become your girlfriend? Lu Shuang said whatever was on his mind. No matter how mature Jiang Yi was, no matter how good his mental fortitude was, he didn't expect to be rejected in such a straightforward manner. He still remembered seeing a man come to her house to give her a car. She stood at the door with her hands on her hips, looking very tough. She asked with a smile, How did you get here? The man said, I drove here. He thought that she would let the man in, and then the man and the woman have a passionate, hearty time. He had known her for 2 months at that time and had a good impression of her, so he felt a little jealous. He heard her say lazily, Get lost the way you came. Also, don't park your car in front of my house, or I'll get the traffic police to tow it away. He laughed at that time. She was like that, straightforward and decisive. If she didn't like someone, then she didn't like him. She wouldn't move for money, and she wouldn't find a random man just because she was lonely. Gradually, he was attracted by her carefree attitude. Maybe I expressed it wrong, female friend. He laughed. Lu Shuang looked at him fixedly. If his confession had appeared before she returned to China, she might have wavered. Or, after she left Shinian completely, she might have wanted to develop a relationship with him. But now, she was Shinian's lover. How could she bear his love? She felt that she didn't deserve it, and it would make him suffer. He might even despise her. Her Prince Charming might be the right person, but he appeared at the wrong time. She just needed to stay in that dark and damp place in her mind and fantasize. I'm not the good girl you think I am. I've done all kinds of bad things and I'm not repentant. Anyway, you'll regret it. Lu Shuang felt helpless and funny now, so she really laughed. Girl, you don't have to reject me like this. I can see it with my eyes, and I can feel it with my heart. Your sincerity, your goodness. Lu Shuang was embarrassed by his praise, because he was not talking about her at all. If you came to a land to ask me to go back, then you should go back now, because I will go back without you. Xiao Bao is still there. I came here because I have something to do. I can help you with anything, Jiang Yi said firmly. But he couldn't do anything. Lu Shuang was a little touched. He nodded at Jiang Yi and said, "Thank you for your love. It makes me want to be a good person all of a sudden." Jiang Yi laughed and said, "Silly girl, go and do what you want to do. Don't feel burdened because of my presence. When you want to try it out with me, come and find me. Just don't ignore me." What he said made her a little flustered. After all, he was her Prince Charming. The more he thought she was perfect, the more disgusted he felt when he found out the truth. But she couldn't tell him the truth. Luckily, she knew the distance between them. When did she learn to think? Lu Shuang entered the elevator. Jiang Yi passed the gift bag to Lu Shuang and said, "I bought it for you." Lu Shuang thought for a moment, but he didn't extend his hand. He stuffed the gift bag into her hands and said, "I am sure you will like it. If you don't, just throw it away." The elevator door closed slowly between the two of them. Lu Shuang took a deep breath and took another deep breath. She must have done the right thing by not accepting Jiang Yi. If Bai Ye was here, she would have told her what to do. But unfortunately, there was no Bai Ye in her world. The elevator opened and she came out of the hotel. She saw two people in black coats standing in front of a black Cayenne. One of them walked towards her and the other opened the car door. Lu Shuang got into the car helplessly. He still had to face Shinian when he went back. She looked at the gift box. It was a jewelry box. She opened it and there was a greeting card. There were blue diamond earrings under the greeting card. She liked them. She had taken a fancy to them when she went to the mall previously. But she didn't want to spend money, so she couldn't bear to buy them. She opened the greeting card and there was a sentence written on it. "I thought it suits you, so I bought it. I hope you like it, Yi." Her heart was wet, moist, and sour. She was also very touched. But she didn't reply to his message. She put the earrings in her bag. After a while, she returned to the president's palace and saw Shinian standing at the door. He looked at her sharply. His face was cold and his eyes were poisonous. It was as if he was going to tear her into pieces. Chapter 561. She walked up to Shinian. Shinian saw the gift box in her arms. He snatched it from her and threw it on the ground. "What are you doing? You promised me to go out. I only met my friend for a few minutes. You asked me to come back, and I came back. I don't think you have any reason to be angry." Lu Shuang said in confusion. Shinian held Lu Shuang's chin and said with a serious face, "Do you know who Jiang Yi is?" "I don't know who he is, so I don't think I'm wrong." Lu Shuang's chin was hurting from his grip. She tried to push his hand away, but it didn't budge. "You're not wrong. Who allowed you to put on makeup? Shin Yi-yen realized the possibility in his eyes. He held her hand and pulled her into his room. His heart was tightened, and he felt a faint pain. The pain was like countless blades cutting into his flesh, so that he, who was usually reserved, became impulsive and irritable. He even wanted to break open her head and take out all the messy things inside. Lu Shuang struggled, but he couldn't get rid of him. Her hand seemed to be the one being punished, and it was almost broken by his grip. She was indeed pretending to be innocent, so she couldn't argue. But, if she didn't know Shin Yi-yen, if Shin Yi-yen had never appeared by her side, she wouldn't have been assassinated, and she wouldn't have lost her parents. Maybe she would have been in a good relationship, married, had children, and lived a happy life. Now, because of him, she couldn't put on makeup, couldn't make friends, didn't have the freedom of speech and action, and even had to listen to him when she did things. She even missed a perfect relationship. She was the one who felt the most wronged. Shin Yi-yen pulled her into the room and saw her red eyes full of grievance, complaint, blame, and unwillingness. His heart softened, and he let go of her hand. Lu Shuang twisted her wrist, which was red. Shin Yi-yen saw it too, and held her hand again, wanting to check it. Lu Shuang put his hands behind his back. Shin Yi-yen was helpless. She frowned and looked at her. You know that I have enemies in country D. Do you know who they are? Don't tell me it's Jiang Yi. Lu Shuang didn't believe it at all. He's just an ordinary architect. Isn't your enemy very powerful? Jiang Yi is Jiang Xinyu's uncle and also the second in command of this conglomerate. Jiang Yi got close to you because he wanted to make use of you. Yet, you foolishly allowed yourself to be used by him. Do you think it's normal for me to not be angry at all? Lu Shuang recalled the past. She really didn't know that Jiang Yi was so rich. Moreover, she didn't know Jiang Yi until she moved next door to Jiang Yi. It wasn't Jiang Yi who took the initiative to contact her. If Shin Yi-yen didn't know where she had gone, Jiang Yi definitely wouldn't know. He didn't get close to me on purpose, nor did he make use of me, Lu Shuang said with certainty. You are my weakness. He seduced you into liking him and dealt a blow to me. Isn't that using you? Shin Yi-yen said with bloodshot eyes. Weakness? Since when had she become his weakness? Don't think that she didn't know that after they separated in high school, although they were no longer together, she often heard news about him. The women he dated could probably fill a truck. Could he really like her? Lu Shuang stared at him and found that he was speaking so seriously that she had a strange feeling in her heart. This strange feeling made her a little flustered. Without thinking, she blurted out, "That's very simple. Just don't treat me as your weakness in the future. It's not easy to be your weakness. You have to guard against knives and lies, and you don't have freedom. I didn't study much, so please let me go." Are you trying to anger me to death? Shin Yi-yen said gloomily, her chest heaving up and down violently. How can you possibly be angered to death? I'm the one who will be angered to death. I'm more narrow-minded than you. You don't let me go out, restrict my freedom, randomly suspect me, speculate about me, and use all kinds of ways to say that I'm stupid. If there was anything between me and Jiang Yi, I wouldn't have come back. You always consider things from your perspective. You think that Jiang Yi is your enemy, so you think that I should stay away from him. I don't know that he is your enemy. You get angry at me for no reason and even say that you will be angered to death by me. You will definitely be angered to death by yourself in the end, Lu Shuang said without thinking. Shin Yi-yen stared at her. He thought that he cared too much about her and was afraid of her leaving. That was why he was so calculative about her matters and would not allow anything to happen to her. He reached out and hugged her in his arms. Lu Shuang didn't want him to hug her and pushed him away forcefully. What? Tell me, why don't you say it? Jiang Yi has bad intentions. Don't see him anymore, Shen Yan said in a low voice. Lu Shuang turned his back and couldn't be bothered with her. One was arrogant and violent, one was gentle, one was childish and willful, one was considerate, one punished, and one was tolerant and understanding. She was so unlucky to have rejected such a good person. Only comparison would hurt. In order not to be completely hurt, she had better not compare. Shen Yan hugged her from behind. Lu Shuang struggled with all her might. Looks like you're not hungry yet, so you still have strength, Shen Yan said. When he said that, she realized that she was really hungry. She looked at him and stopped struggling. She couldn't get away from him anyway. I want to eat lunch. I haven't had breakfast. Shen Yan looked at her gently and smiled. I want to eat in your room. She deliberately made things difficult for him, as if she could only get some balance if he was angry. Wait, I'll go downstairs and prepare it for you. Shen Yan agreed and let go of her. She fell on his bed and looked at the white ceiling. When would Shen Yan let her go? Did he really love her? She thought about it and couldn't believe it. But she felt that he really liked her. Did he really like her? Shen Yan came in with a tray. There was braised pork, pigeon soup, tomato and eggs, papaya and clams, beef ribs and 2 bowls of rice on the tray. He put the tray on the long table. Lu Shuang was really hungry. He sat at the table, picked up the chopsticks and lowered his head to eat. Shen Yan looked at her. Did your hand hurt? Yeah. Can't you tell me if it hurts? Shen Yan held her hand and blew on it. Lu Shuang frowned. Will you let me go if I tell you? You've done something wrong and you still want me to let you go. She pulled her hand out. I didn't do anything wrong. Does it feel good to think like that? Of course it feels good. Then you can keep thinking like that. I won't admit it anyway. Shen Yan looked at her. It does feel uncomfortable. I feel uncomfortable when I see you with other men, let alone Jiang Yi. I'm curious. How did you become enemies with them? You're obviously not from the same country. Lu Shuang looked at her. Shen Yan's eyes darkened. She picked up a piece of braised pork and put it in Lu Shuang's bowl. Eat more. You've lost a lot of weight. Lu Shuang could tell that Shen Yan was not willing to say it. Her gossipy nature was stirring a little. Chapter 562. Tell me, tell me. Lu Shuang urged. Jiang Xingyu's sister committed suicide because of me. Shen Yan said simply. Oh. Lu Shuang stretched out the last syllable. She thought of a lot of things. She knew about his romantic history and there seemed to be more than one woman who committed suicide because of him. This man was indeed a demon and he was good at seduction. Fortunately, she had the fiery eyes. Otherwise, if she fell in love with him and he had a wife, she would be depressed every day. Because of her thoughts, Lu Shuang stuffed the whole piece of braised pork into her mouth and realized that the meat was too big. When she bit it, it was full of oil. Shen Yan had no choice but to take a tissue to wipe her mouth. Lu Shuang stepped back. She was not used to letting him wipe her mouth. He felt that it was something that an adult did to a child. She was not his child. She took a tissue and wiped her mouth. Your chef makes good food, but it's a little big. Who eats a piece of braised pork in one bite? I'll tell them to make it smaller in the future. It's a gift from the president, of course I eat it in one bite to show my sincerity. Lu Shuang laughed and teased. You respect me so much. Why didn't I notice it before? Shen Yan said. He lowered his head and cut the braised pork into 2 pieces and gave her a piece. Lu Shuang looked at him suspiciously. She realized that he was not the same as before. In the past, he would not cut the meat into 2 pieces for her. In the past, he would only say that she ate too much and was fat. "Shiniyin, have you changed?" Lu Shuang raised his eyebrows. He just wanted her to know that he was good to her, so good that he would not leave her easily. "Am I good to you?" Shiniyin asked. Lu Shuang bit his chopsticks. "I am good, but why do I feel that you are up to no good? Do you have something to ask of me?" "I don't know anything." She didn't know anything and she said it very sincerely. "I'm not asking you to do anything. Just be good. I'm going to receive foreign ambassadors tonight. Come with me." Shen Yin said. "Can I not go?" The thought of receiving foreign envoys must be very formal and not suitable for a lazy person like her. "No, you'll encounter them in the future. You don't have to learn them all at once. You're a smart person by nature, so it'll be easy for you to learn them," Shen Yin praised. She was actually an intelligent person. "Thank you." He had already said so. If she refused, he would definitely not agree. "Anyway, you can't blame me if I make a mistake." Lu Shuang agreed. Shen Yin smiled and said, "Of course. After lunch, I'll get the stylist to design a new hairstyle for you. I'll also get your clothes custom-made. So, don't go anywhere in the afternoon." She liked to do her hair and clothes, so she nodded. After lunch, Hua Zixing had been waiting at the door for a long time. She saw Lu Shuang. She smiled at her and walked up to Shen Yin. "Yin, something happened while you were eating. Let's go to the study to talk about it." "Okay." Shen Yin put her hands in her pockets and nodded. "Okay. I have something to tell you too." Shen Yin turned and walked into the study. Hua Zixing followed her. Nangong Yu walked in front of Lu Shuang with a strange expression and reminded her, "Tomorrow, Madam will be inviting a foreign envoy to our home. The envoy's wife is colorblind and allergic to perfume. You should be careful." "Got it." Lu Shuang sat on the sofa and turned on the television. Nangong Yu frowned. "Madam and Sir have permission to watch television." Lu Shuang did not want to cause trouble. He turned off the television and took an apple. He lay on the sofa and took a bite. "Why are you sitting and eating so badly? The sofa is for sitting, not lying down. People will look down on you if you act like this," Nangong Yu added. "That's right." Lu Shuang glanced at Nangong Yu, got up and walked to the stairs. Nangong Yu blocked her way. "Sir and Madam are talking. If you could hear them, you wouldn't have to go to the study." Dear, I'm not going to the study. I'm going to my room, okay?" Lu Shuang said lazily. Nangong Yu stood aside awkwardly. Lu Shuang walked past her. Nangong Yu was getting more and more annoyed with her. She said softly, "I don't know where this street girl came from. She has no manners at all." Lu Shuang stopped in his tracks. Uncle could tolerate it, but Auntie couldn't. She turned around and walked in front of Nangong Yu. She looked down at her. "Talking behind someone's back. Is your manners good?" "My father is General Nangong. I've been brought up strictly since I was young. How is my manners bad?" Nangong Yu blushed. "You've said everything. You think your manners are good, but that's just what you think. You think others' manners aren't good, but don't let me hear it again. I don't want to talk to you because I don't think you're worthy. If you insist on provoking me, then I won't stand on ceremony." Lu Shuang said sharply. Nangong Yu didn't expect Lu Shuang to be so fierce. Her face turned red and white. "How are you going to stand on ceremony? You want to know?" Lu Shuang smiled. He turned around and walked upstairs. He knocked on the door of the study. Hua Zixing opened the door and smiled. "What's up?" Your maid said she needs your permission to watch TV. Can I watch TV? Lu Shuang asked. Of course. You don't need my permission. Since you're here, we're a family. You can do whatever you want, Hua Xixing said politely. Your maidservant just said that my upbringing isn't good. As for me, my father has been a dean his entire life and is diligent and conscientious. My mother was born in a scholarly family and was already an official when she was very young. She has been poor all her life. Do you think I can do it, but don't bring my parents along? I'm sorry. I'm not a good housekeeper. My maid spoke nonsense. Nan Gongyu, come and apologize, Hua Xixing said sternly. Nan Gongyu lowered her head. She walked to Lu Shuang and stole a glance at Hua Xixing. She said softly, I'm sorry. I spoke nonsense. Can I watch TV now? Lu Shuang asked Nan Gongyu. Nan Gongyu pursed her lips and didn't say anything. Of course. Do as you wish. If my maid offends you again, you can tell me, Hua Xixing said with a smile. Lu Shuang glanced at Hua Xixing. According to their age, she should be the elder sister. Hua Xixing was gentle and her voice was very pleasant. It made people feel comfortable. She didn't want to be calculative or offend her. However, if Nan Gongyu continued to pester her like this, she would feel annoyed. She wasn't someone who was easy to talk to. Thank you, Lu Shuang said. He turned around and went downstairs. Chapter 563. Nan Gongyu wanted to say something, but she saw Shen Yiyan looking at her with an unfriendly gaze. His aura alone was enough to kill her. She was terrified. The president didn't even need to be born to win a battle from 1,000 miles away. She could only say in a low voice, I understand. I won't do it again, madam. Hua Xixing went back to the study and closed the door. I'm sorry, my maid is too insensible. Shen Yiyan curled his lips and said meaningfully, Lu Shuang isn't someone to be trifled with. Even I don't dare to bully her. Tell your maid to stay away from her in case she starts crying. This sobbing was a statement that was confirmed. Hua Xixing understood what he was hinting at. He had given her face this time, but she wouldn't be able to protect Nan Gongyu next time. Hua Xixing smiled and changed the topic. Lu Shuang is an interesting girl. I feel that after she came, the president's residence will be much livelier. I like her straightforward personality. Take care of her more in the future. She's just not happy to do it. If she does it well, she won't cause you any trouble. No problem. I can take her to the cabinet first and get in touch with the officials' wives. Oh right, what should we do about Baya? Hua Xixing asked. Shen Yiyan tapped the table with his fingers, his eyes heavy and mature beyond his age. Souljourney was never used by me in the first place. Gu Lingqing's death has nothing to do with Xingdongqing. It's possible that those old fellows are also involved. They covet my current position. I won't do anything and let Baya suppress them. But don't do anything for now. I know what to do. Baya is quite powerful. She actually pulled Xingdongqing down from the finance minister's position in just a few months. I didn't even dare to think about it in the past. Now, she's probably going to lose her position as the education minister. She's so powerful, and I'm a little worried that she'll oppose us. After all, the other's power will weaken, and her power will grow. Who are you going to use as the new finance minister? Hua Xixing asked. Everyone wants to be in that position. It's not easy for anyone to be in that position. As for Baya, she has her own goal. Her goal is definitely not to be the president, Shen Yiyan said with certainty. Is her target Souljourney and Xingdongqing? Hua Xixing was suspicious. Xingdongqing bombed Gu Lingqing's plane. Even if the real cause of Gu Lingqing's death has nothing to do with Xing Dongqing, Baiye will not let it go. She will find out who killed Gu Lingqing and avenge Gu Lingqing. After that, she will leave. When the time comes, will she really give up her power? Hua Xixing didn't think so. You don't understand Baiye. She's not an ambitious person. Everything she does is for Gu Lingqing. But Gu Lingqing is already dead. Hua Xixing didn't believe it. She's still living in her heart. She would rather spend the extra time on her lover than on cold politics. I'm very sure. Let's not talk about Baiye for now. Bring Lu Shuang with us tonight. Shen Yin was talking about the outcome. She wouldn't allow anyone to reject her. Hua Zijuan paused for a moment and smiled. All right, I'll bring her along. Thank you. I've already called a stylist over to design her hair and clothes that suit her. You should design some clothes too. Shen Yin stood up. Okay. By the way, the clothes won't be ready in time. I have a few dresses that I haven't worn yet. Her figure is similar to mine, so she should be able to wear them. I'll ask her to choose 2 from my room later. Is that okay? Okay. Sure. And jewelry. Since we're going to receive guests, we should have some jewelry. I happen to have some here. I don't wear them anyway, so I can give them to her, Hua Xixing said generously. That's not necessary. She has a lot of jewelry. She likes these things. I'll go and see her first. She was angry just now, Shen Yin said. He didn't hide his love for Lu Shuang. Okay. Tell her that she's sorry. Nangong Yu is still young. She has a bad memory. She'll forget it soon, Shen Yin explained. Then, he opened the door and went downstairs. Lu Shuang was lying on the sofa watching TV. He was so engrossed in it that he didn't notice Shen Yin coming down. What are you watching? Shen Yin asked. That man is the female lead's ex-husband. He cheated on her when she was pregnant. He got together with her bestie. Now, the bestie has taken all of his money. The child in her belly isn't his, it's his friend's. It feels so good to be slapped in the face, Lu Shuang explained. Shen Yin smiled and sat down beside her. And then, the female lead found a handsome guy to be her boyfriend. That handsome guy is super nice to her. His family is rich and powerful. His in-laws also accepted the female lead. Now, she's pregnant with that handsome guy's child. What about the female lead's previous child? Shen Yin asked. That child is gone. It was pushed down the stairs by her bestie. Now, I really hope that the female lead's ex-husband's friend doesn't want the female lead's bestie. That man is a little stupid. The one who got cheated is the brother of a kind female lead, Lu Shuang explained. Sounds interesting. Hua Xixing sat down on the sofa next to him. When Lu Shuang heard Hua Xixing's voice, he came to his senses and sat up immediately. His heart was twisted. Although Hua Xixing and Shen Yin were married by agreement and Hua Xixing also had someone she liked, they were still husband and wife. She couldn't go overboard in her own home. She couldn't get over it. Hua Xixing smiled and said gently, "It's okay. You can just lie down." Lu Shuang smiled politely at Hua Xixing. He leaned back on the sofa and watched the television. He couldn't watch it anymore. The atmosphere in the room was a little strange. Lu Shuang stole a glance at Hua Xixing. She was also watching the television. Even though she was in her own home, she was still sitting like a lady on the sofa. Her back was straight, her legs were together, and her hands were resting on her knees. As for her, she was sitting cross-legged on the sofa lazily. She accidentally compared herself again and looked at Shen Yin. She didn't know when he had sat next to her. One of his hands was naturally placed on the back of the sofa behind her and the other hand was pointing at his forehead. His bored look made him look like a ruffian. Luckily, Shiniyan was about the same as her. She felt much better and elbowed him in the stomach. Ah. Shiniyan grunted and looked at her. I didn't use any strength. You should learn how to sit. You're the president. Hee hee. Lu Shuang's eyes curved as she smiled and said in disdain. Stop it. Shiniyan held her hand as if he was hugging her. He was too arrogant in front of his wife. Lu Shuang withdrew his hand and stood up. I'm not watching anymore. You guys watch. I'm going back to my room. Chapter 564. Did he say anything about hairstyling? Lu Shuang glanced at Shiniyan. He didn't want to say anything about clothes so that Hua Zixing wouldn't feel bad. The designers will need about half an hour to get here, Shiniyan explained. Shuang, come to my room first. I haven't had time to design your clothes yet. You can choose 2 sets from my room. I have a lot of clothes that I haven't worn before. Which one do you like? Hua Zixing said with a smile. So, she knew. Shiniyan really told her everything. She didn't have to worry anymore. Thank you. Can I choose one? I'll choose 2 sets. The designer is in a hurry. It'll take 2 to 3 days to make some changes. 1 set isn't enough. I'll have to use it tonight and tomorrow. Maybe the day after tomorrow too. Hua Zixing walked upstairs. Lu Shuang was embarrassed. Hua Zixing was too nice to him. She felt that Hua Zixing was more like Shiniyan's sister than his wife. She sighed. If her husband brought another woman to her house, she would cut off her husband's penis that night. So, Hua Zixing was a goddess and she was a loser. She followed Hua Zixing to her room. Her room was clean and luxurious. It was decorated like the room of a princess in a dream. Hua Zixing opened the walk-in closet and looked around. It was magnificent. Rows of clothes, shoes, bags, and even jewelry were all placed in glass cabinets. I haven't worn the clothes in the last row. You can take all the jewelry you like. I don't usually wear them, Hua Zixing said generously. I have jewelry. I'll choose 2 sets of clothes. Thank you, Lu Shuang said. You're welcome. In the future, we will be sisters. On the contrary, you are the one who has helped me a lot. I can see that after you came, Ian's mood is much better than before. The atmosphere in this house is also much better. I like this kind of harmonious and beautiful environment, Hua Zixing said gently. You are so perfect. If I were a man, I would definitely cherish you, Lu Shuang said sincerely. I'm embarrassed. Hua Zixing covered her face and walked to the last row, gesturing for Lu Shuang to choose. Lu Shuang picked 2 sets. The designer is coming over today. You should make a few sets too. I will pay. Yi Yan has already asked me to make a few sets, but look. Hua Zixing glanced at her wardrobe helplessly. I have so many clothes that I haven't worn yet. If I change into a different set every day, I can change it for 365 days. If I have too many clothes, I'll be dazzled. Your character is quite similar to a friend of mine. Lu Shuang thought of Bai Ye. She's the same. She doesn't pursue material things. She's pure and indifferent. I'm just worried that I haven't given you enough and that there will be estrangement. You don't have to feel burdened. Shiniyan and I aren't what you think. You don't have to worry about me, really, Hua Zixing said sincerely. Lu Shuang twitched his lips. He didn't say anything else and took the clothes out. The designer will be here in a while. Put it on and let them make some alterations to make it more suitable for you, Hua Zixing reminded him. I really want to see which man is so lucky to be able to make you like him, Lu Shuang sighed. Hua Zixing pursed her lips and smiled. I'm not as good as you say. I have a congenital heart disease and can't do strenuous exercise. I can't have babies either. Whoever likes me will be the unlucky one. Nowadays, with the advancement of medicine, you will definitely be able to see better. There are also many heart bypass surgeries. Aren't they still fine? You will be fine, Lu Shuang comforted her and went out. Shen Yiyan was no longer watching television. He was watching television purely to accompany her. After all, he had a lot of work to do. He had things that he should do, things that he wanted to do, and things that were related to the future. After a while, the designer came over. She tried on the clothes first, and the stylist recorded the data. She designed what needed to be designed, and modified what needed to be modified. After she was done, she sat in front of the mirror, and the stylist restyled her hair. Looking at herself in the mirror, she thought of Baya. It had been 5 years since they had their hair done together. At that time, Shen Yiyan hadn't appeared yet. Her father had asked her to go on a blind date and she had her hair done together with Baya. I want to cut my hair short. Can I? The kind that's very short, Lu Shuang said to the designer. The designer smiled and said politely, what kind of girl would cut her hair short? You're going to wear a gown, so you can cut your hair short. But don't make it too short. Then I'll keep my hair long. It wasn't easy for me to grow it this long. Lu Shuang regretted. The designer was speechless. Lu Shuang was probably the most fickle person he had ever met. Okay. No one knew when Shen Yiyan had appeared. He crossed his arms over his chest and leaned against the door frame. Looking at Lu Shuang, who was being styled, a charming light flashed through his eyes. The frivolity of youth had long been swallowed by him. He was mature, shrewd, introverted, and scheming beyond his age. For the family, for the complicated relationships and interests, he had sacrificed his time, love, and happiness. Only in front of her could he show his truest self. Because she was the most real person he had ever met. Lu Shuang noticed Shen Yiyan and rolled his eyes at him. Why did he want her to go? She would rather stay in her own space and sleep. Now, he had to do his hair and borrow clothes from his wife. Come here. Shen Yiyan smiled and walked towards him. Lu Shuang looked at her. I think you should change your hairstyle too. Haven't you been very unlucky recently? You want me to accompany you? Shen Yiyan saw through her at first glance. It's for your own good. Lu Shuang said confidently. Shen Yiyan said to the designer next to her, help me change my hairstyle. Make it more stable. Yes. The designer nodded respectfully. His men brought over a chair. Shen Yiyan sat down next to her. Lu Shuang looked at Shen Yiyan in the mirror. He kept staring at her with a meaningful look. He stared at her and she stared back at him. She didn't know what was so interesting about her. She just had 2 eyes and a mouth. The look in her eyes reminded her of the 2nd year of junior high school. He was asked to recite Peacock Flies Southeast by the language teacher in front of the lecture. He looked at her with a meaningful look, which made her feel uncomfortable. In the end, the teacher asked her to also stand in front of the podium and recite Peacock Flies Southeast. Peacock Flies Southeast was so difficult to recite. It was like classical Chinese and there were many rare words. Most importantly, she didn't prepare it at all, so she couldn't recite a single sentence. Then, the 2 of them stood in front of the podium and stared at each other awkwardly and shamefully. Hello everyone, I am Qin Tang Tang. You can follow me on WeChat. Chapter 565. Why do you keep looking at me? Lu Shuang could not help but ask. Shen Yin was indifferent, his lips curling into a devilish smile. Under the lights, he was mesmerizing. You didn't look at me. How would you know that I was looking at you? Lu Shuang, she recalled something else. It was also during the second year of junior high. In order to welcome the Labor Day holiday, her classmates had organized an entertainment program. She had signed up for dancing. In order to dance well, her mother had even brought her to the gym to get a private coach to practice. In the afternoon, everyone was rehearsing. Shen Yin was there too. He had signed up for a piano recital. She heard that he had not signed up for it at first. Later on, he had to sign up and even squeezed out a classmate's poetry recital. Who asked him to be so handsome and his father to be the provincial party secretary at that time? The teachers would not dare to offend him. During the rehearsal, he had looked at her with that same gaze. At that time, she was still in the prime of her youth. Even though she did not like Shen Yin, when a guy paid attention to her, there would always be some pink bubbles in her heart. It reminded her of many youthful stories. In the end, when she performed on stage that night, she was ridiculed by her classmates. She danced quite well, but there was a hole in her stockings. She was very sure that there was no hole when she wore it in the morning. After thinking about it, she thought of a detail. Shen Yin seemed to have used a pair of scissors to cut something during the rehearsal in the afternoon. She knew that his sudden appearance was definitely not something good. Given her personality, she ran over to him and questioned him. One of the things she said was, "Why do you keep looking at me?" He laughed wildly and wickedly. "If you don't look at me, how would you know that I'm looking at you?" She was so angry that she wanted to vomit blood. When she regained her composure, she asked Shen Yin in disdain, "What are you up to again?" Shen Yin curled his lips. He did not say a word and looked at himself in the mirror. She hated this mysterious look of his the most. She could not guess his thoughts and always felt that she would be in trouble. In the future, she would learn from him and let him know how she was feeling right now. His hair was quickly designed and he went to work. The stylist spent 2 hours on her hair and another half an hour on her makeup. Finally, she changed into the gorgeous gown that Hua Ziying had given her. She looked at herself in the mirror. When she didn't speak, she looked really noble and elegant. Every frown and smile was extremely charming. Wasn't it a little shameless for her to describe herself like this? All right, it was only when she didn't speak and was pretending. When he turned around, he saw Shen Yin standing at the door. He didn't know when she had returned. He looked at her and said, "Be more dignified at night. Don't talk if you can, and don't fool around. You're my assistant, and you have to stay by my side at all times. Do you understand?" Lu Shuang was a little worried. "Don't embarrass me on purpose." Shen Yin smiled. "I will try my best to stop you." Lu Shuang had the urge to beat him up, but he held back. "What time is it? I'll eat something first and go with you. I promise I won't embarrass you." Shen Yin looked at his watch. "It's almost 5:00. We're going to the venue now. It's arranged for the banquet hall. I've asked someone to buy some bread. You can eat it in the car." Ha! So he had already prepared it. It really made her feel uncomfortable. Was he that worried that she would embarrass herself? In the car, Shen Yin and Hua Ziying sat in the same car. She sat in the same car with Nan Gongyu and a makeup artist. Nan Gongyu sat in the front passenger seat, and she sat with the makeup artist. She ignored Nan Gongyu and ate her bread. The banquet hall is filled with the most unique dishes in country A. You had lunch after 1, right? Are you hungry now? Nan Gongyu tried not to sound disdainful after being lectured by Hua Ziying. Yeah. Lu Shuang didn't want to explain. She was under a lot of pressure. Shen Yin was the president. If she made a mistake, wouldn't she embarrass the president? It didn't matter if Shinian embarrassed himself, but he represented the country. She would embarrass the people of the country. Moreover, she needed Shinian's help. For the time being, she didn't want anything to happen to Shinian. Nangong Yu couldn't hide her disdain and the corner of her mouth twitched. Lu Shuang pretended not to see it and continued to eat her bread. After she finished eating, the makeup artist touched up her makeup. Soon, they arrived at the banquet hall. The surrounding roads had been sealed off and there were many soldiers standing guard. All the departments had to ensure that nothing went wrong. The guards opened their car door. Lu Shuang got out of the car and looked at Shinian. He had already gotten out of the car. Hua Ziying was holding his arm and smiling. They walked on the red carpet together. They looked like a loving couple. The guards followed them in an orderly manner. She saw Nangong Yu follow Hua Ziying quickly. As Shiniyan's assistant, she also lifted the hem of her dress and quickly followed Shiniyan, standing behind him. Shiniyan saw Lu Shuang from the corner of her eyes. She secretly held her hand and then let go. Lu Shuang straightened his back. His heart was beating so fast that it almost jumped out of his throat. What was Shiniyan doing just now? What if he was photographed? However, there seemed to be no reporters around. Those who could protect him were probably his confidants. Who knew? The one who wanted to kill her might also be one of Shiniyan's confidants. They passed through the corridor and the soldiers opened the door. There was light music playing inside. It was really luxurious. There were more people than she had expected. She had seen the man from F country in a magazine. He was said to be the youngest prime minister of F country. His wife was older than him by 12 years. She followed him because she was gossipy. At that time, she felt that he was quite handsome. His wife looked elegant and had the maturity and elegance of a woman in her 50s. However, the age difference was too big. At first glance, they looked more like mother and son. Women always looked older than men. She subconsciously looked at Shiniyan. She was also older than him. In another 15 years, if they were still together, how could they still be together? She was thinking too much. Shiniyan walked forward and smiled. She reached out and shook hands with the Prime Minister of F country. She could feel the strong aura of a king. He was speaking in F country. She could not understand a single word. When did Shiniyan learn to speak F country? Seeing that they were all smiling, she smiled too. There was nothing wrong with that. The Prime Minister's wife brought a gift for Hua Ziying. Hua Ziying also spoke F country and gave the gift to Nangong Yu. Take a seat. Shiniyan said something in F country. She could understand it. A country had a strong dining culture. For example, the host of the banquet would sit at the seat facing the door. The most important guest would sit at the right side of the host. The wife of the host would sit at the door. As the assistant, Lu Shuang sat at the left side of Shiniyan. Chapter 566. His palms were very warm and hot, and he was very strong when he held her hand. Lu Shuang's face turned red. He was so nervous. The Prime Minister was sitting right next to him. He was too bold. What if he was found out? She pulled her hand away and he didn't force her. He just looked at her deeply. Lu Shuang glared back. Hua Zixing saw it and raised her head slightly with a smile. The others sat down one after another. She didn't care about politics. She didn't know any of those VIPs and didn't dare to eat casually in case she made a fool of herself. Most importantly, they had been talking in Mandarin F, and she didn't understand them. She looked at the others. They probably didn't understand either, so they just smiled and didn't say much. She felt better. It was an honor to see these VIPs making a fool of themselves with her. In the middle of the meal, Shiniyan looked at her again. She saw Shiniyan looking at her. She gestured with her eyes, as if asking what was going on. Pour the wine, Shiniyan said in a low voice. She understood. Holding the wine bottle, she stood up and poured wine for the Prime Minister, then for the Prime Minister's wife, and finally for Shiniyan. The Prime Minister looked at Lu Shuang and said. Lu Shuang looked at Shiniyan and smiled. That man who could turn the world upside down also said something. She didn't understand what he said. She just saw the Prime Minister looking at her and talking. Why did he speak in Mandarin F? She didn't understand. Welcome to country A, hee, she said in Mandarin A, which meant that she didn't need to speak in English. Who asked them to speak in Mandarin F? The others who couldn't hear F country's language all raised their glasses and said with a smile, welcome to a country. They didn't want to make the atmosphere awkward and found that they had a chance to speak. The Prime Minister paused and looked at Shiniyan. Shiniyan smiled and chatted with him. I'm sorry, the Prime Minister said to Lu Shuang in English. It's okay, Lu Shuang replied in English. She then said in English, welcome to a land. At the end of the day, she was not a person who held a grudge easily. Unless it was a big grudge, she would never take it to heart. She lowered her head and ate. Shiniyan handed her a disposable towel. Lu Shuang thought something was on his face, so he wiped his lips with his towel. Except for lipstick, there was no sauce. She hated Shiniyan. When she finally finished eating, she didn't dare to eat much. However, she wasn't really hungry. After dinner, they went to the symphony again. Lu Shuang was arranged to sit behind Shiniyan. In front of him were the Prime Minister and his wife and Shiniyan and his wife. How extravagant. There were more people watching the symphony than listening to it. Lu Shuang didn't have any special interest in symphonies, nor did he hate them. He changed a few familiar songs into symphonies, which sounded good. Unknowingly, after listening for 2 hours, she yawned. Nangong Yu glared at her, very displeased. Lu Shuang felt the hostility of the person next to him. He sat up straight and forced himself to look at Shiniyan. He was very patient, noble and elegant. He exuded the aura of royalty, which made him a pleasing picture. Why didn't she notice it when she was young? If she had noticed it earlier, she would have hidden far away from him. Shiniyan also looked at her, raising his eyebrows and curling his lips. For a moment, he looked especially evil, like the Shiniyan in junior high. However, it was only for a moment, and he returned to being a cultured and sophisticated dignitary. When Lu Shuang saw Nangong Yu leaving, she immediately followed her out. She found a place where there was no one, twisted her neck and stretched her waist. She heard Shiniyan's laughter. She turned and saw Shiniyan. She ran to him and said, "Did you listen to that sumo wrestling story and deliberately made fun of me?" Shiniyan naturally put his hands on her waist. "I made fun of you, so I took you to Beijing Opera. Then can you not ask me for such things in the future? I feel a little bored." Lu Shuang requested. "Let me kiss you first." Shiniyan showed the side of his face to her. "If anyone sees you, you will be dead." Lu Shuang reminded her. "There is no one here except for me and you. I am sure of it." Shiniyan said confidently. "Oh yes, why did you come out? Are you done with the Prime Minister? Can we go back now?" Lu Shuang suddenly realized. He tightened his grip on her waist. "Don't change the subject." Lu Shuang looked around helplessly. Indeed, there was no one around. She quickly kissed his face. Shiniyan smiled and kissed her face before he was satisfied. "Let's go, it should be over in 10 minutes. When it is over, we will go back and you can sleep in tomorrow." I heard from your wife that you are going to invite them to your house for dinner tomorrow. I don't have to show up. Lu Shuang tried to negotiate. From now on, you will have to do whatever Hua Zixing wants to do. You should learn from her. Shen Yin said seriously. Lu Shuang had a strange feeling in her heart. Was he really going to marry her? Lu Shuang shuddered. The thought of it made him panic. Unconsciously, he followed Shen Yin into the house. Just as he expected, it was over in 10 minutes. Shen Yin and the Prime Minister were walking in front, talking happily in English. Lu Shuang finally understood what they were talking about. They were talking about football. She still did not understand. When they walked out of the corridor, the captain of Shen Yin's bodyguards stood at the side and signaled to Shen Yin. Sorry, please excuse me. Shen Yin walked to the captain. Mr. President, it's not good. Some of our guards have sneaked in. I've already arranged a new way. When the time comes, I'll have to trouble you to follow me. The guard reported. Got it. Investigate as soon as possible and ensure the Prime Minister's safety. Shen Yin ordered. When he saw a person running towards him from the corridor, a sharp light flashed in his eyes. He ordered vigilantly, stop him. When the soldiers saw the person coming, they quickly moved to protect Shen Yin, Hua Zixing, and the Prime Minister couple. As Lu Shuang was arranged to follow them later, no one was protecting Lu Shuang. She stood in front alone. Shen Yin's heart skipped a beat. She did not care about her own safety and rushed towards Lu Shuang. Lu Shuang was scared too. She had seen the same scene once in Country D. Similarly, there were people rushing towards her. Alan's men blocked them. Unexpectedly, the person who shot her was the one in the car. Her mother died trying to protect her. She looked at the others subconsciously. With her sharp eyes, she saw that the person opposite her was holding a knife and was stabbing at the Prime Minister. She had a bad feeling. Prime Minister, be careful. With that, she did not know where she got the courage to stand in front of the Prime Minister. The person did not expect there to be another person. He was stunned and continued to stab at Lu Shuang. She thought that she was dead meat. She was so stupid. Why would she sacrifice herself for a person she did not know? In the past, it was for Baya. Now, it was for a stranger. She was crying because of her stupidity. Chapter 567. She was worried about Xiao Bao. She didn't want to die. Seeing the knife coming towards her heart, she was stunned. That was all she could think of. At that critical moment, Shen Yin jumped over and kicked the knife out of the assassin's hand. Seeing that he was no match for Shen Yin, the other guards rushed towards him. He broke through the glass and jumped down from the building. Shen Yin couldn't care less about the assassin's whereabouts. She held Lu Shuang's shoulder and scolded him emotionally, "Are you okay? Are you stupid? If he hadn't been stunned just now, you would have died." Lu Shuang came back to his senses. He could tell that Shen Yin was scolding him. He felt wronged too. "I protected your Prime Minister. If it wasn't for me, he would have gone to their Western paradise and died in your country. Let's see how you're going to explain it to Country F. You're the stupid one, and you're blaming me." Shen Yin knew that it was all thanks to Lu Shuang. But to him, Lu Shuang was more important than the Prime Minister. If something happened to her, his life would be filled with darkness and he would lose all joy in life. Seeing her red eyes, he felt sorry for her. He pulled her into his arms and hugged her tightly. His body was trembling because he was afraid of losing her. Hua Zixing's face turned pale for a moment. Lu Shuang saw that there were so many people watching and pushed her hard. He knew that he shouldn't be impulsive, so he let go of her and said in a low voice, "You've done a good job this time. I'll reward you on Monday." When he said that, it seemed that the hug was just a compliment from the president to the people around him. Hua Zixing smiled and said, Lu Shuang, you did a great job. Lu Shuang pursed his lips and didn't say anything. Now that he thought about it, he was still a little scared. She didn't know what she was thinking at that time, but her brain was filled with blood and she stood in front of the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister was also very grateful. He turned around and hugged Lu Shuang. He said in the language of country A, thank you. Shen Yi's face instantly turned pale. However, she couldn't lose her temper. Lu Shuang smiled and said, you're welcome. It's what I should do. He looked at the Prime Minister with approval and appreciation in his eyes. Frowning slightly, he stood in front of the Prime Minister and ordered Lu Shuang seriously, you go back with Colonel Qing first. I approve your request just now. What did she ask for? Tomorrow, he invited the Prime Minister to his house for a meal. Could she not show up? I don't have to attend such banquets in the future. That was great. Lu Shuang beamed and nodded. Mr. President is wise. Good night, Mr. President. Best wishes to Mr. President. Shen Yi saw that she was smiling so sweetly. If he hadn't stopped her just now, she would still be smiling now. He would teach him a lesson when he returned. Colonel Qing stepped forward and led Lu Shuang away. The Prime Minister looked at Lu Shuang's back and praised, women are not inferior to men. A delicate girl like you has the spirit of sacrificing herself for others. Your country is indeed admirable. I will definitely convince our president to cooperate with us this time. Then I'll have to trouble you. I'll get someone to send you back. Shen Yi smiled politely and signaled to the leader of the guards with her eyes. The leader of the guards understood and nodded. They had to strengthen the security today. Nan Gongyu's face was as dark as it could get. She didn't expect that Lu Shuang would make such a great contribution as soon as he arrived. She looked at Hua Zixing. Hua Zixing was still smiling. She looked kind and didn't seem to mind. On the way, Shen Yi and Hua Zixing parted ways. Madam, I think you should teach Lu Shuang a lesson. If this goes on, her position will be higher than yours, Nan Gongyu said angrily. Hua Zixing looked ahead without batting an eyelid. If you were the one protecting the Prime Minister today, I might have arranged for you to work for the president tomorrow. I suspect that it was Lu Shuang's man. Otherwise, how would she dare to do that? Nan Gongyu said pitifully. It can't be her man. Although he was stunned for a moment, his target was not the Prime Minister, but Lu Shuang's heart. If it wasn't for Shen Yi, Lu Shuang would be dead by now. Hua Zixing saw it clearly. The assassin wanted to kill Lu Shuang. His target is Lu Shuang. Who is it? Nan Gongyu was surprised. I don't know. His target was the Prime Minister at first, but after he saw Lu Shuang, he changed his target. Don't be jealous of her and hate her all the time. Pleasing Shen Yi is the most important thing, Hua Zixing reminded her. Nan Gongyu felt even more wronged. She pouted higher than her nose. I want to please her too, but the president won't give me a chance. The opportunity is right in front of you, but you don't know how to cherish it. Just wait and see. I will remind you when the time comes, Hua Zixing said helplessly. President's Palace Lu Shuang had just finished showering and was lying on the bed when the door opened. She saw the travel-worn Shen Yi and sat up. You're back pretty fast. Shen Yi saw that she was fine, so he knocked her head. You're really brave. Do you want to die? He knocked her head hard. Lu Shuang held his head. Are you kidding me? You're trying to get back at me again. Didn't I pass? Besides, I did it all for you. Shen Yi's eyes were filled with tenderness. Even his breathing became nervous. He said very seriously, can I assume that I'm in your heart? Lu Shuang paused for a moment. She had saved the Prime Minister because she was out of her mind. She did not think too much about it. If she had a second to think, she would definitely not have stood in front of the Prime Minister rashly. However, it was definitely a good thing for Shen Yan to let his guard down. It would be easy for her to take revenge and leave. She was not smart, but she was not stupid either. Lu Shuang nodded. Shen Yan smiled. He did not hide the surprise and excitement in his eyes. He lowered his head and kissed her on the lips. Lu Shuang was worried endlessly. She was really tired today. She covered her lips and said, "I've already brushed my teeth. I'm going to sleep." He looked at her deeply. She was the only one in his dark eyes. He did not force her. "Wait for me." He went into the bathroom, brushed his teeth and showered. She did not want to wait. She switched off the lights and closed her eyes. However, she did not fall asleep immediately. She pretended to doze off. Shen Yan came out wearing only a towel. His hair had been washed and dried in the bathroom. He saw that Lu Shuang's eyes were closed and she was not moving at all. How could he not know whether she was asleep or not? With such a gentle sleeping posture, he was 100% sure that she was not asleep. He did not expose her. He lifted the blanket and lay down beside her. He switched off the lights and only left the wall lamp on. He placed his hand on Lu Shuang's waist. "Shuang, if you're free tomorrow, go to the hospital to remove the ring." Lu Shuang was stunned. She was scared out of her wits. How could she still pretend to be asleep? She turned her head and looked at him. "Why?" Chapter 568. Lu Shuang felt the need to have a good talk with him. She turned around and faced Shen Yan. She said seriously, "It's not appropriate for us to have a child now. Firstly, I'm by your side. No matter what, I'm a celebrity. A celebrity by the president's side is not married but is pregnant. Anyone with a bad brain would be able to guess that it's yours. Secondly, it wasn't easy for me to lose weight and have my current figure. Once I get pregnant, I'll gain weight. Moreover, the focus will shift to the child. Thirdly, you'll definitely be distracted, right? You'll have another weakness for others, right?" Shen Yan looked at her with a burning gaze. "Firstly, we're preparing for pregnancy. We don't know when we'll be pregnant. Secondly, when your stomach gets bigger, I'll arrange another place for you to wait for delivery in peace. No one will find out, so there won't be any gossip that you're worried about. Thirdly, you used to be fat, but I didn't despise you. So, I won't despise you when you grow fat in the future. Fourthly, as for the child's education, I have a good confinement nanny and tutors to accompany our child. You don't have to worry about it. Fifth, as long as you're strong enough, there's nothing to be afraid of." Lu Shuang couldn't win against him in an argument, so he said shamelessly, "I don't want to." Shen Yan looked at her fixedly. Because of the dim light, she couldn't see what was in his eyes, but she could vaguely tell that it wasn't a good thing. She felt a chill down her spine and explained, "I haven't had enough of a two-person life. Many people around me are married, so I don't have as much time as a couple. I don't have the passion of a boyfriend or girlfriend. After I give birth to a child, it becomes even less. I'm almost 30, and I'm about to reach the age of a wolf. It's not good to be pregnant at that time. You've already given birth to a child for me. Have I not given you one?" Shen Yan didn't agree. Lu Shuang was embarrassed. "Aren't we not married yet?" "I'm not married now either." "Lu Shuang, that's why we can't have children." After she said that, she felt that her words were contradictory. She didn't want to argue with Shen Yan anymore. She turned her back to him. Shen Yan was silent, and so was Lu Shuang. After more than 10 minutes, Shen Yan asked, "Are you asleep?" Lu Shuang pursed his lips and said nothing. You're not going to answer. Then I'll do it directly, Shen Yan warned. I'm falling asleep, Lu Shuang said unwillingly. Shen Yan sneered and turned around, trapping her in his shadow. Before she could react, he lowered his head and kissed her lips. Lu Shuang pushed him away. He didn't want it. The weather now was very cold. Even though he had a heater, it was still cold. She had already showered and didn't want to shower after sex. Unfortunately, he didn't give her a chance to refuse. He held her hand that was pushing him and pressed it on top of her head. In the past, there were many preludes. This time, perhaps because he was unhappy, he lifted her leg anxiously. Lu Shuang was angry, but he couldn't break free. He twisted his waist and seemed more cooperative. Shen Yan, don't be like this. Aren't you like a wolf? Why do I feel that you don't want it at all? If you don't want it, just give me a child. If you're pregnant, I promise I won't touch you, Shen Yan said sarcastically, suppressing his anger. F***ck, Lu Shuang was furious. He pushed Shen Yan onto the bed. Am I your tool for giving birth? He held her waist, his eyes filled with passion as he looked at her. I have many tools, but I only want you, and only you. Don't you understand? Or do you really not understand why I'm doing this? Lu Shuang's brain wasn't very sharp at night. She really couldn't understand why he was so tongue-tied. But suddenly, a thought flashed through her mind. If her middle school or primary school classmates knew that she was together with Shen Yan and doing such things, what would they think? She remembered that Shen Yan was also the school hunk back then. F***ck, sleeping with a school hunk didn't seem to be a loss. She lowered her head and sucked Shen Yan's neck. It was easier to use her hands than her brain. Shen Yan didn't stop her. He held her waist and entered her again. Lu Shuang sat up and saw a red mark on his neck. He regretted it. It was too obvious and could be easily found. I'll use concealer tomorrow. He frowned and turned over again. Don't think about other things when you're doing it with me. Lu Shuang, the next day. When Lu Shuang woke up, Shen Yan was no longer there. She turned over and went back to sleep. Her eyes were closed, but her mind was very clear. She thought about what happened last night. So embarrassing, so embarrassing. The second time she and Shen Yan did it, it was a tug-of-war. She was angry and weak. After he purposely went easy on her, she was finally on top. The more she thought about it, the more annoyed she became. She shouted rhythmically, "Go!" If Shen Yan shouted, she would have no chance to make a comeback. So annoying. She felt that she had to train harder in the future. But it seemed that there was still a huge difference in strength. It was better to rest. She picked up the phone on the bedside table and looked at the time. It was already 10:15. She didn't want to get up and played games on her phone. The door was pushed open. Shen Yan came in, well-dressed. She was in a good mood. She sat on the bed and said, "Lazy pig, the Prime Minister and his wife will be here soon. If you don't get up now, you won't be able to go out. Then I'm going to lie down for a day. Get someone to send food up secretly," Lu Shuang said. Shen Yan smiled. Her gaze was very gentle. Slowly, it was doting and she was in love with him. Lu Shuang was startled. Did she think that she couldn't get out of bed because of him? This thought made her feel very embarrassed. She lifted the blanket and got up. I feel like I'm still full of energy. I'll be lazy if I stay in bed. I'll go out for a walk. Shen Yan smiled even brighter. She turned around and hugged him. It's not too late to do it again. Shen Yan, don't you think you're in love? This way, you won't be able to rest well and it's not good for your body. It will also distract you, Lu Shuang said directly. I'm afraid that I won't be able to satisfy you. What if you run away? He said seriously. Lu Shuang felt a little guilty. It's already enough. He didn't focus on this problem anymore. Where are you going later? I'm just going to walk around the streets. I haven't gone shopping for a long time. Today is Saturday, so it should be lively. The assassin from yesterday hasn't been caught yet. It's easy to get ambushed if you go downtown. There are too many people, and it's not convenient for my people to protect you. Then do you have any good suggestions? Lu Shuang said helplessly. I'll be a little busy from noon until last night. Tomorrow morning, the Prime Minister and his wife will return home, so I'll be free.